It's all about the Targaryens and it's all about the dragons. This is House of the Dragons and House Targaryen is ruling on top. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, and we are here for the Game of Thrones prequel. Yes, House of the Dragon. We're going to review episode 1. We're pretty late to the series. It's already been out now about a year and a half, but better late than never. And Fog Entertainment are here to see what the dragons are all about.
There's a lot of dragons. Even the title of the episode's called The Hairs of the Dragons. So we may as well begin in the prologue 11 years ago, in the year 101 AC. Essentially, we need to alert, ascend. A new king needs to be made, the new heir, because guess what? All the king's sons are dead. So there's 14 claims, only 2 are taken serious. We've got the eldest grandchild, who is a woman, by the names of Renee.
And that's her kind of ruled out straight away.
Rhaenys
Targaryen. We need a new king, but one of the 2 options is a woman, so therefore there is no option. Prince Viserys Targaryen, the eldest grandson, is elected to succeed his grandfather. Then we get a bit of a time skip to King's Landing and we see a full-grown scale dragon. Yes, a big-ass dragon. I believe in Game of Thrones, I don't think you get to see the full-size dragons until maybe end of Season 5, start of Season 6, but already in House of the Dragons, we don't have baby dragons, we've got big-ass dragons, and we get introduced to Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, and she is played by... It's weird, because you've got these characters, and some of them are played by like 3 different actors and actresses, so it's going to be a little bit hard to keep on top of, but yeah, we get introduced to Rhaenyra Targaryen first, and she comes into King's Landing. She meets her father. She meets Lady Alicent Hightower. We're getting introduced to all these characters at one time, so it's kind of hard to know who's who. I think Game of Thrones certainly did a better job of introducing each house. I think like when Game of Thrones... Plus, Game of Thrones had all these different locations. Basically, in House of the Dragon, at least for episode 1, pretty much everything just took place in King's Landing.
It did.
And I think when you've got a different setting, when you've got a different location, and all the locations look different, it's easier to group a certain house with a certain location. And I just think you get more familiar with that group. It's like you can clearly see when the scene switches and you're dealing in Game of Thrones with the Targaryens and you're dealing with the Dothraki, and then you clearly know when it's in Winterfell, you're dealing with the Starks. When it's in King's Landing, you're dealing with the Baratheons/Lannisters. So I think that it was easier to just get a better feel for all the different houses and all the different characters in Game of Thrones rather than House of the Dragon, because I feel like everyone was just thrown together, in my opinion.
It wasn't as clear cut as Game of Thrones. Dragons don't do it for me, right? There's some people out there when they see like a certain action scene, guys throwing each other through walls, oh, there's a lot of zombie kills, oh, there's dragons. Nah. Someone flying in a dragon does nothing. See, when people are sitting around a table with actual good dialogue, that's what does it for me. Now I think it was good dialogue in this episode.
We did get multiple small council meetings, which I like. I think the small council meetings were probably the best thing about Season 1 in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but see a scene where the main character is flying about in a dragon for a 5-minute montage? I don't care. Why am I supposed to care? I mean, I think the dragon scenes, right, when like they're used to like attack a city, or used in battle, I think that could be interesting. But I mean, see someone flying a dragon in this show, is that not just like a character getting on a plane in 2024?
Well, in fairness, the dragon scene didn't last that long.
No, it didn't, but I've just got... I will guarantee you, by the time Season 1 ends, you could probably put together like an hour worth of dragon scenes where they're just riding on it.
True, but in this episode, they kept the dragon stuff to a bare minimal, so hopefully that continues in the rest of the season. We got to see quite a few small council meetings. We got introduced to everybody that is in the small council, and it would appear that Viserys, Hand of the King, Sir Otto Hightower, doesn't really get along with his brother. We get introduced to Prince Daemon, and the small council just don't really seem to be very high on Prince Daemon. They think that he is not good for the king, they think he is not good for the realm, and they just don't trust him. And already we can sense a rivalry, I think, between the Hand of the King and Prince Daemon. But we're going to have a tournament, just like Ned Stark had a tournament in his name. We get something very, very similar in King's Landing, so it obviously turns out with people on horses. They've got their their joisting stick or whatever, and they're riding. It's like it starts off as a competition, a tournament, but it quickly turns into people just pulling out their go-to weapon, pulling out their swords, and we just see people killing each other in this tournament. So I thought it was supposed to be like a sport, like a friendly competition, and then we just see bodies dropping, people dying, blood being spilt. And speaking of blood being spilt, King Viserys has to make a choice. Now, he's been looking for an heir to the throne for a while. His wife has had several miscarriages. She's pregnant right now. She's going to hopefully give him another son. He is sure that he is getting a son, and he's right. He is getting a son. However, he can't have both. His wife isn't going to make it through the pregnancy, and he is told that he has to either try and save his child or risk losing them both. And because Viserys, I think, was so confident that he was going to have a son, he was going to have an heir to the throne, he decided to essentially sacrifice his wife via C-section. The son is born. The son originally looks healthy, but it turns out the son doesn't make it. The son dies, and now he is without a wife, he is without a son, and he is without an heir to the throne. So he's pretty much up shit creek without a paddle. He later then decides that he needs to pick a new heir to the throne, and he goes with his daughter, Rhaenyra Targaryen. And this was obviously controversial because we've never had a queen, and now essentially when Viserys dies, we're going to have our first ever queen of Westeros, essentially. We also seen a pretty good scene where Prince Daemon comes in, and he basically just takes out all the murderers, the thieves, the rapists. He just like kills them all. The Night's Watch is at his command, and he uses them to full effect. A lot of the small council didn't like his approach, but you know what? He defended himself with saying this tournament was coming along. He needed to make sure King's Landing was a safe place for visitors to come into, so he essentially took out the trash. And I mean, I think we have no issues with that.
You know what? This is justified. If only the Western world delivered things like this these days. I mean, it's not honestly seen murderers and rapists. I'm not saying you just go around and whoever's been accused of it gets murdered in the street, but here, death sentences should be handed out like this in real life, and I think the world would be a better place. It's a shame that Matt Smith here, playing this big Targaryen bastard, has to deal it out in this show. But here, I enjoyed it. Probably one of the best scenes of the actual premiere, I would say.
Yeah, now, a bit of a surprise, Prince Daemon actually lost in the tournament. Now, he did yield, so he didn't die, but he lost the tournament to some guy that I'm not even sure where he's from, but he lost anyway. Bit of a surprise, I kind of expect it.
Back to the king, right, about his whole heir problem. Could he not just remarry? I know his wife's dead, like, but...
True.
I mean, and also the fact, right, that we know there's time skips and there's actors playing different, years of a character, etc. But, I mean, he looks old in this episode, but he could just have another son. He could do what Robert did.
It would be a bastard though, wouldn't it?
Oh, well, he could just marry like 10 women, or marry one woman then, a younger woman.
True.
The king? No, this guy just doesn't give me king vibes.
Well,
king shitebag, maybe.
Well, should we talk a lot about King Shitebag? Should we talk about why he shat the bed and essentially named his daughter to be the heir of the throne and not his brother? Because people had told the king that his brother, Prince Daemon, was quoted as saying that his son that was born was heir to the throne for one day only, and that essentially pushed the king over the edge, and he had enough of his brother. He didn't deny it, Prince Daemon. Pretty shit thing to say, I guess. But he said everybody grieves differently. So
yeah, that's a piss poor excuse. He shouldn't have said it. I'm all for Big Daemon taking the throne, but when he said this, went out the window.
Was it justified? Do you agree then, after those comments about his newborn son being the heir to the throne for just one day only, do you agree that he was right to essentially...
I think there's a way of saying it. Like, he said it in like a mocking celebration speech for his own benefit. I think if like Tyrion or something said it, or I think it's just a delivery that it could be said in like a grieving way, but it wasn't. So I think it was justified to actually take it from him.
We will put it up for a poll whether King Viserys made the correct decision to essentially oust his brother and make his daughter princess, Rania the heir to the throne. But that was pretty much it then. We get the burial at the end, we get the funeral when the dragon breathes fire to essentially wave goodbye to King Viserys' wife and dead-born son. And that was pretty much it for the first episode of House of the Dragon. I mean, any thoughts to add before we go into the rating here?
I mean, it was an alright episode. I guess we did have at the end, like, oh, here's the song of ice and fire. Remember this. You have to give it from heir to heir to heir. And there was a lot of name drops about Bavarian and Stark houses. So, I mean, that's all good to know. But again, with the whole 200-year thing, I doubt we're going to be getting anybody in the same timeline fitting into Game of Thrones. But I thought it was alright. I was expecting it to be a lot worse than Game of Thrones. When I say it was a lot worse, it was a bit worse. But again, there's only one location, and I think as a premiere it delivered, because you're setting up like a future battle for the season about who's going to take the throne. So I think for the sake of a premiere it delivered, but I don't see how I don't see like 5 or 6 seasons out of this show. And we know it's confirmed for 4.
It's already confirmed for 4. So
do you know what I mean though? I think it suits having like 2 seasons maybe, not like 6.
But you know, I doubt it's going to be all about the Targaryens. They probably will branch out. I think the story is going to be the sort of civil war maybe, where we've got multiple people wanting the seat, but maybe seasons after that we'll branch out and we can get more familiar known houses being brought into it. So yeah, I thought it was okay. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty decent premiere. I thought it was a good premiere. It wasn't great, but it was better than I expected it to be. I wasn't hoping for much. I thought prequels normally do kind of disappoint, spin-offs do disappoint, but I would say this is probably up there for one of the... I know I've only seen one episode, but it's probably one of the better spin-offs, I think, that's been released.
I'd agree with that. I think one of my only negatives would be I think the small council and the king are very weak. Like, the Targaryens, when they speak about them in Game of Thrones, like these brutal dictators, but in this, it's almost comical. I thought, like, the way they were acting, like, they're just very weak.
One of the guys in the small council sounds like exactly like the other guy in the small council for Game of Thrones. I actually thought it was him until I looked at the screen.
No, yeah, but my...
You know, the old guy?
I know who you're on about, but I don't know, I think they come across as weak. It's weird when you go from the Lannisters, who, like, just kill people for looking at them wrong, but then these people were, like, almost raging that Daemon had, like, killed murderers.
It almost felt like this one was after Game of Thrones in the timeline.
Aye.
As if they'd become more civilized or something.
Yeah, something like that, but no.
You'd expect them to be more barbaric further back in time, but I don't know, it kind of gave me the sense that this was after Game of Thrones rather than 200 years before, but I'm sticking with a 7.
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a very good premiere, so yeah, that's where we're going to leave it, man. Fiery like a dragon's breath. Not as good as Game of Thrones, but here, didn't expect that, so till next time, peace.
We have a prince disobeying his brother, we have a princess challenging her father, and we have the small council worried about what will happen and who's going to be a threat to King Viserys. But if he marries the girl that they all want him to, it won't be his brother challenging him, it'll be Chris Hansen telling him to take a seat. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, here to review another episode of House of Dragon. This one is called The Rogue Prince, obviously focusing on the fact that King Viserys' brother, Daemon Targaryen, has kind of just disobeyed orders. He's stolen an egg, he's not really going against his brother, but he's not following the chain of command. He's not getting in line. But for me, this was overshadowed by something else. And we can talk about Daemon Targaryen potentially wanting to be king, or Rhaenyra Targaryen challenging her father and setting herself up to be the future queen. But for some reason, pretty much everybody in the small council wanted King Viserys to marry a 12-year-old, and it was just a weird episode. And the father, Lord Corlys Velaryon, was so desperate to marry off his 12-year-old daughter to a man that must be 30, 40 years her senior. It was very strange. I get it. He wants to have that tie to the king. He wants to have that tie to the crown. Them getting married, having kids would elevate him. But I mean, Jesus Christ, his daughter's 12 years old and he's marrying her off to like a middle-aged dude. It was strange, very strange.
Yeah, there's no morals in these times, and it's weird because pretty much everybody in the small council, hell, in King's Landing, wanted this to happen. The scene where they're just walking, and you can clearly see that this guy is like a fully grown adult. We actually thought she was younger than 12.
Yeah, when you first seen her,
I thought she was about 9, 10. But it doesn't make it any better, right? It doesn't. I'm not going to pretend it does.
Well, at first you have Otto Hightower when it's first brought up by Corlys, when he suggests it. Hightower is like, well, you know what? The problem is she's pretty young. But when he said that, I was assuming like maybe 15, 16, something like that, around the age of King Viserys' own daughter. Didn't realise she was going to be 12 years old. Then we had the scene where she was obviously fed a line from Corlys, who wanted her to say all this stuff about how I will give you children, I will give you sons, and we can, rule. And having this 12-year-old talking about giving a grown man sons, it was uncomfortable. I mean, what is it with Game of... Like, I like this universe, and I think it does a lot of things good, but they do way too much. I mean, it's one thing having, like, random horror sex scenes every episode, and it's one thing doing incest between two grown-ass adults, but Jesus Christ, can we leave the 12-year-old grown man stuff alone?
Yeah, I think from Corley's point of view, I think it should have been bad enough for him to give up his daughter, who'd be like, say, mid-20s or even like 20, but to give up his fucking 12-year-old daughter to the king for his own agenda, that's just sick. How are you supposed to back it? See when the king he didn't even want to do it.
Well, I respect that he didn't want to do it, but I think he should have shot it down straight away. Could you imagine if someone says to Ned Stark, you need to marry this 12-year-old? Ned Stark would have pulled his sword out and that's it, fight to the death.
But see, what would Robert have done?
Baratheon?
Aye.
I don't think he'd have married a 12-year-old, would he?
A 12-year-old? The pig was 6 years old when it killed me. Governor.
And there was this rule where King Viserys wouldn't be able to take her to bed until she turned 14, but I mean...
Oh, brilliant.
Big wow, it's still fucking not right, But whatever, that was the main thing. Eventually, King Viserys tells Lord Corlys Velaryon that I'm not going to be marrying your daughter. I'm going to be marrying Otto Hightower's daughter, who's still pretty young. I believe she's a similar age to Rhaenyra Targaryen. And speaking of Rhaenyra, she actually looked visibly upset when her father decided that he was going to marry Alicent Hightower instead of Corey's 12-year-old daughter. Now, I know she's friends, and maybe that is why. Maybe she feels like she's losing her friend to her father. But I mean, I think this is a win-win. I mean, the guy he's bumped up the age here at least by 3 or 4 years, in my opinion. So that's I can accept that.
Yeah, I actually had something in common with her too. He spoke to her.
Yeah, it's commendable. Plus, we actually did see for this episode that Alicent and King Viserys were speaking quite a lot, and they were bonding, and she got him something repaired, one of his wee statues. Got that fixed for him as well. So, they just had more in common. Like, when you seen King Viserys walking with Corley's daughter, and she's talking about saying all this stuff that she's been fed to say, and then talking about giving him children, it just didn't sit right with me. It was weird as hell.
Yeah, it's pathetic though. It's like, how naive though does Corlys have to be? It's like, does he think that the king wouldn't catch on to that?
Yeah, because that's the first thing King Viserys said. Who were you told to say that?
Yeah, and then also, I mean, I think the House Hightower has got something to play here. I think Otto definitely wanted his daughter to marry Viserys.
Yeah, I mean, he was...
The amount of looks he was given, he's like, oh, were you talking to the king earlier on, sort of thing.
But
something going on there.
I think everybody would want that, wouldn't they? Is that not a fair assumption that everyone in the... Not just the small council, but in general, would love to be brought into the crown? And by marrying off your daughter to the king, you're doing that?
Yeah, but as you said, I mean... That's Alicent, or Alicent, whatever. I mean, it's a sin.
I'm sure Tywin Lannister was celebrating when he found out that he could get Cersei to marry Robert.
Yeah, but I'm sure he was potentially. But here, the problem is here, it's like...
It's all about the name, Lannister.
Yeah, it's all about the age, though. I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, well, the age was weird. Now, we had to select a new member of the Knights Guard, someone to protect the king, and it was given to the only guy with combat experience, Sir Christian Cole, and he was the one that actually defeated Daemon in episode 1 when they were having that duel, so he seems like a good as any guy to be the protector of the king, and he had actual combat experience rather than just tournament fighting. So I think this is a good selection here.
It was a good selection here because you know what, he was easily the most capable guy there, and you want the best. Why would you settle for anything less than the best?
Yeah, you don't want some no-name bum protecting the king.
Yeah, Sir Colton Cole was the man. Double C.
Christian Cole, but
double C.
Double C is right, so he gets his new position. Turns out there's been an egg stolen.
And there wasn't too much of a fuss at the beginning, but it turned out to be Big Balin's egg. But obviously he's dead, and that's great offence to the king. So everyone's storming over to take the egg back, demand it back from the big man himself by the name of Matt Smith. That guy, Matt Smith. Daemon Targaryen, he's took the egg, and it's funny how there was no importance until it was revealed it was a specific sort of egg.
Yeah, oh, there's a dragon missing. Who cares? What dragon was it? It's Balin's dragon. So King Viserys, he sees this as a betrayal, and he's not going to take it lying down. He's ready to attack, go to Dragonstone, I believe is the name of the castle.
Dragonstone, but Otto did not want him to do it.
No, it's too dangerous, my king. I will go. For as I am a shitebag and will not win in a fight. I don't know what Otto Hightower's plan was here. Wouldn't he rather go with his king? I mean, we can argue that maybe he just cares. Also, with his daughter going to marry King Viserys, he's probably looking after his own interests as well. But I'm sure Otto Hightower would have felt more comfortable and safer going there with King Viserys by his side than going it alone.
Absolutely, but here we get a big showdown with dragons. We're met on the bridge, so to speak, to Dragonstone. You've got Prince Daemon there, having a standoff with Otto Hightower.
With his new whore of a wife, apparently, who he plans to wed and have children with, but they don't view her as a wife. They don't view her as a serious option. And
I just don't get this though, right? Because why would Daemon, yes, he's the King's Guard, he owns them, he's the commander, but it's yeah, but it's the King's Guard. You're just the commander of the King's Guard. Surely the King's Guard would be like, well, you know what, actually...
Well, not really, because Ned Stark thought he had the...
No, that's different, though. I think if it was Robert Baratheon and not Ned Stark, it would have meant something. Ned Stark's a jobber. But that's why they're not listening to... I mean, if this was Otto Hightower acting alone because King Viserys is incapacitated or dead, I would absolutely get why the King's Guard would back Daemon. But it's not that case. This is actually on behalf of Viserys.
Was it not the City Watch?
The City Watch, King's Guard. No, it's the King's Guard. It's definitely the King's Guard.
The King's Guard should be in King's Landing. And I'm pretty sure Daemon is in charge of the City Watch because he went in and took care of all the rapists and murderers.
King's Guard, City Watch, shite jobby. It's just a bunch of guys with swords, right, that he's in command of, but they should have the loyalty to the king.
So we get some threats dished out. The egg isn't going to be handed over. Looks like we're going to get a big battle here on this tower bridge sort of environment. It looks like pretty even amount of numbers. And then we see a dragon fly past, but don't worry, we've got another dragon. So the numbers are even. Rhaenyra is here on the dragon. She speaks with her uncle and she manages to convince him to give back the egg and avoid any bloodshed, and everybody gets to live. The egg is returned, and she's done a good job here. Now, Viserys was pissed off that she left and didn't tell him and put herself in danger, especially since she is the only heir to the throne. But she was happy with what she'd done because she managed to prevent anybody from dying, prevented blood from being spilt. And that probably wouldn't have happened, to be honest, if it was just Otto Hightower and Daemon Targaryen, going at it in this little debate. Sooner or later, there was swords drawn. I reckon we would have seen blood. We would have seen deaths on that bridge. So I do think Rhaenyra has saved lives by riding the dragon out there and putting an end to things.
Yeah, she absolutely has, and it shows good qualities for the future heir, so to speak. It was good seeing a wee showdown here, but you can't help but feel for Viserys, man. This is just like the worst booked king in the history. It's like his daughter's not even doing his dirty business for him. Like, I get it, he didn't send her there, and he's quite pissed off she went, but I mean, does that not make him look incredibly weak that his daughters flew in the dragon? He's sitting there, getting his hand patched up by a pile of maggots.
It will be interesting to see if that method actually works. I know the finger is supposedly rotten and maggots can eat away at the rotten flesh, but is that going to prevent the finger from being chopped off? I'm not so sure that's the case. I know I wouldn't want maggots feasting away on any of my body parts, but I guess King Viserys has his people and they know what is best for him. But the episode ends with Corlys, who earlier was not happy that his daughter was snubbed by King Viserys, so he invites Daemon Targaryen to his castle, High Tide, and he speaks about Viserys' disregard and lack of respect for his family and loyal service, and he basically offers up a betrayal here. He wants to start a union between each other, unite their forces, become successful, and do it behind the king's back.
Yep, that was pretty much it in layman's terms, but there's also the other subplot this episode where we've got the Stepstones, and there's pirates taking over there. They're killing a lot of the soldiers, the sailors, with some crabs, and essentially Corlys, this whole beef started with Viserys because he wanted backup, he wanted to start a war there, but yeah, Viserys doesn't want to start a war when it can be avoided, but Daemon, he might be more likely to do that, so that's what Corlys is offering Daemon here. Essentially, you step in, be the big man, and that'll prove to people that you can be the king in the future. And you know what? I don't really understand why Viserys doesn't want to protect his own land. I get it, because I can't remember what the actual people, what middle people were they called? Something along those lines. Not starting wars is a good thing, but it makes you look weak if you're just willing to let other people come in your territory and piss all over your shoes.
Yeah, Corlys didn't take it well when Viserys snubbed his daughter. Now he's turning his attention to Daemon, and he's looking to team up with Daemon. He was also bad-mouthing the king to Daemon, and Daemon says, "Don't be speaking disrespectfully about my brother like that," even though Daemon speaks disrespectfully about his brother.
He's a weird character, Daemon. He's very insincere.
One rule for Daemon and another rule for everybody else. But yeah, that's where we're going to end it then. I thought King Viserys did look pretty weak in this episode. I get it, they're portraying him as a nice king, a fair king, but even in the small council meeting, he's getting spoke to like I've never seen any king or even lord get spoke to in Game of Thrones. You compare like all the top ranking men of their respective houses in Game of Thrones, never did they really get spoken to like we've seen King Viserys being spoken to this episode. Like in Winterfell, nobody really questioned Ned Stark, and if they did, they would offer advice, but they wouldn't like outright call him out on bullshit.
Yeah.
Same with Robert Baratheon, same with even Joffrey. You know, someone that nobody respected, but they feared. But with King Viserys here, we had Corlys basically bashing him. First of all, he's bashing him to his face in the small council meeting, and then he's bashing him behind his back to his brother Daemon, and Daemon was the only one that was pretty much willing to step up and try and defend Viserys. So
Renly might be up next for a bit of back bashing.
He might be. Anyway, guys, that was the end of the episode. So yeah, it was okay. I don't think it was as good as episode 1, but it was decent. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
It's alright.
I thought it was decent too. I'll give it a 6. It's never going to sit right with me over sitting out here trying to marry 12-year-olds.
Nah, less of that shit, and who knows, maybe if we can steer away from the Chris Hansen material stuff, then we could be looking at higher rated episodes in the future. But that's it, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. That was episode 2 of The House of the Dragon. We'll see you in the next one, episode 3, coming soon. Till then, though, peace. We have another time skip, and the king has another son, but thankfully this one actually survived. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment for another House of the Dragon review. Season 1, Episode 3. This one is called Second of His Name, and the focus is on King Viserys' new son, Aegon, who he had with his queen wife, Alicent Hightower, and once again, the focus seems to be on who is going to be the heir to the throne, and that seems to be what the first 3 episodes have been about. So, episode 1, obviously, we have Daemon, who was supposed to be the heir, and then he got replaced by Rhaenyra. And then in episode 2, we had King Viserys debating which woman he was going to marry, which woman he was going to have more kids with, and continue his legacy, continue his bloodline with. And then in episode 3, the plot line seems to be, will the king's new son replace his daughter as the heir to the throne? So I feel like we haven't really moved very much here in 3 episodes. Yes, it's 3 different episodes, it's 3 different characters, and it's 3 different positions, I guess, up for grabs, but it kind of feels like the same theme. Who's going to be next in line? Who's going to be the successor? And I think we need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, we do, and I feel like this show's just getting stuck in the mud with woke tendencies. Because, see, realistically, right, this should be, right, you, daughter, you'll be queen unless I've got a son. But see, when I've got a son, then you go behind him in the list. That's what it should be, until you have kids of your own. That's what it should be. But I just think because this show's come out in 2022, the 2020s, it just comes across as so much more woke than Game of Thrones. And because we're watching both at the same time, it's so much more noticeable.
I totally agree it's more woke than Game of Thrones, but I'm not necessarily sure that the whole woman not being able to be queen unless if there's a male there, I'm not sure if that's true, because in the first episode, in the prologue, it was... when it was up for debate who was going to be the next leader, it was between a man and a woman. And it was almost like, you know, it was an option that the woman could have been selected before King Viserys took up that position.
In the dialogue, they kind of made it to be that she wasn't a serious option. It was always going to be Viserys.
Well, in my opinion, you're either a serious option or not an option at all. But I get what you're saying. But I've no issue with Rhaenyra being the heir, and I don't think she should lose that just because King Viserys has had a son born to him, but everyone else seems to believe that his son will just automatically become the new heir.
There's a lot of selfish motivation in there. You've got the Hightowers who obviously want one of their own in there.
Yeah, Otto Hightower, he is obviously the grandson of King Viserys' new son, Aegon, so he wants his grandson to be obviously he wants his grandson to be the king because that gives him more power. So yeah, that makes sense, but I just feel like the theme of the 3 episodes so far has pretty much been who's it going to be, A or B, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I don't think Rhaenyra's making a strong case, man. She's just moping around. Oh, I don't want to get married to this guy. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. It's not.
I don't want a man. I don't need no man. And also, it's like
no, but I don't get the vibes that she even wants to be queen.
Well, I think she does, but she just doesn't want to really marry somebody. But she thinks she's getting replaced. But no, for me, it's just I don't know. It's just too not predictable, but it's like I think we need a little bit more. It's like you can't.
Game of Thrones, you've got a lot of things going on, a lot of places, a lot of battles, a lot of things going on behind the scenes. You're right in this. It's very cookie cutter, man. And the fact that you know there's just these like going to be these time skips after time skips with like 3 different actors as well and actresses. I don't know. I think that's all just a mess. It just seems very neat.
It's just like in-house battles. There's no like conflict or it's little squabbles between the houses.
It doesn't help though that the king is pathetic and he should just say it's my way and that's it.
Also, yeah, King Viserys has been spoken down to by so many people in the opening 3 episodes. Look, and I know that in Game of Thrones, Robert Baratheon, people kind of thought he was a joke, but no one told him that to his face.
Yes. Also with Robert, right, it's not like there wasn't a big deal about who's going to be his heir. It feels like with this Viserys guys, he's on the road out. He's going to die tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like, shouldn't he be saying, I'm going to rule for the next, I don't know how long? The heir shouldn't be that important, but that seems to be all we're focusing on. So, right, we went from Daemon being the heir to Rhaenyra. Then we got who's going to be the queen. Is it going to be the underage girl or is it going to be the very underage girl? And, I mean, I guess Viserys did the honourable thing and he picked the slightly older underage woman. I mean, I guess.
What a man, what a man. Well, I mean, I guess there's no real proof that Queen Alicent was underage.
Well, his daughter's 14 and they're supposed to be the same age.
Ooh.
In episode 2, so... But I guess that's better than whatever the other girl was, 11, 12.
We don't know the facts, but I think she looked a wee bit older than her.
That's because the actress.
I know, yeah.
Daenerys is supposed to be 13 in Game of Thrones.
Is she?
But they've moved... In the book, she was 13, but they moved her up to 16 in Season 1. So she was 16 when Big Khal Drogo was taking her into his tent.
Take a seat, Khal Drogo.
Anyway, right, I think we spoke too much about all this stuff. Let's actually get into the episode. So we get a 3-year time skip. Lord Corley's and Prince Daemon, they created some sort of partnership last time, so they are now battling the Crab Feeder and his forces in the Stepstones without the Iron Throne support. I never really felt like this Crab Feeder was a serious threat.
3-year battle worth.
Yeah, it just feels like some guy that looks like scabs. Anyway, so we have that. King Viserys plans a great hunt to celebrate his and his wife's, Alicent's son's, Aegon's second birthday. Rhaenyra resents her father because she feels that he is putting all his attention towards Aegon and that she's now been pushed to the side because she's a girl, her mother's dead, she believes that her father's got this new family now and she's just not being cared for, or she's like being forgotten about, essentially. Turns out Rhaenyra is now 17, so yeah, that would make her 14 in the first episode. So yeah, the big focus for her standpoint is that she needs to marry to form a strong alliance and protect her lineage. That's what King Viserys keeps telling her, but she's like, I don't want a man. I got strong feminist vibes here in this. And it's like, this would have just been the thing, right? Being a woman or being a man, it doesn't matter, because King Viserys says he had to marry when he didn't want to. Even when he remarried Alicent Hightower, he didn't want to do it. It was everyone saying, no, you need to remarry, you need to support, strengthen the throne. He didn't want to do it, and he did.
Yeah.
So why should Rhaenyra be any different? Why should she not need to marry? But yeah, it did give me very strong...
And he's not forcing her to marry, like, literally. I know he said, like, in this episode, Jason Lannister, right? But then he's like, you can marry who you want. She's still being a little bitch.
Yeah, I could understand it if Viserys was trying to marry her off to someone that was really horrible.
Aye.
Or someone that was like 40 years older than her.
It's the way of life in these times, man. No, it is forced, man. It's forcing current feminist stuff into our throat.
And this is like, what, 100 years, 200 years before Game of Thrones?
Exactly, so, come on.
So you'd expect this to be even more, like, outdated than Game of Thrones is. But the wokeness, man, it definitely creeps in. So Rhaenyra runs off, not happy. She gets chased by the new night guard, Cole, who seems like an okay character, but...
I mean, let's just wrap that up. He chases her, we should go back, my princess.
Saves her from a boar.
Yep, and that's it. And they return, a bit more blood on them.
Yeah, that is pretty much...
What I would say is, so obviously there's a bit of pressure here. We need to regain the Stepstones, but obviously the Iron Throne isn't supporting it, but now they're supporting it. So, big Viserys sends Daemon a letter. Daemon receives this letter, and it's basically, then you hear it being read out in Viserys' voice, I'm finally giving you that support, big man. And then he decides to beat up one of the king's men, and then he just goes on the solo mission to take on the Crab Feeders. And it's like, really? This has took you 3 years to really get nowhere, and all of a sudden he's wiping out about 50 of them at a time?
Yeah, this annoyed me. So, Daemon is annoyed that the Iron Throne are now going to give their support, and pretty much just to, one-up his brother, and make it look like, here, I never needed your help, he decides to bait himself in an ambush to the Crab Feeder, and he literally ends this 3-year war by almost single-handedly taking them down. I mean, he ran into enemy territory, like, dodged a shitload of bullets, bows, bow and arrows, and then defeats the Crab Eater after taking down like 50 guys. It just wasn't very believable. Maybe if it was like Lord of the Rings movie style, it would be a bit more like of an action scene, but Game of Thrones is supposed to be realistic. House of Dragon is supposed to be realistic. One guy simply doesn't just evade like hundreds of bows and arrows and then takes down 50 guys without getting cut down himself.
Yeah.
Jaime Lannister's considered the greatest of all time, and I mean, he got 10 people down before he got captured. Yet, Damon just takes
Yeah,
down.
what's crucial there, they're trying to capture him, not kill him. With this guy, they were trying to kill him. They were trying to kill Damon. It's not like they were trying to capture him. I thought this was... It's horrible, the right word. I mean, I would go... I mean, it's so... The character's just overprotected already. 3 episodes in, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so
Like, see if he wants to go in to enemy territory and kill, like, 10, like Jaime Lannister, right? Then retreat. I can accept that till his dragon comes in.
It's just plot. It's plot holes. Like they literally ended a 3-year war in 3 minutes just so Daemon could be like, fuck you, brother. I didn't need your support.
Yeah, you've got Viserys as the king being spoken down to, right?
By everybody.
He's too scared to do anything. Oh, my heir, I need an heir, and then this guy's fucking killing 50 people at a time.
Now there was one guy that I guess he pushed back on. They just automatically believed that he was going to name his son the heir, and he said that's not going to happen. And then he comforted his daughter and says that she remains the heir and she can choose whoever she wants to marry. So that's pretty much what we got out of this episode. Rhaenyra is still the heir to the throne. Daemon is a little bitch and didn't want support for the throne, so decided to end a 3-year war in 3 minutes. And I believe there may be a few people that are not going to be happy with the king's decision to choose his daughter Rhaenyra over his newborn son Aegon, and maybe that's going to be once again the plot line in episode 4.
I mean, it probably will be. I just don't get this. We need something fresh. But I've just got a feeling with the time skips that it's going to continuously happen. It's going to be the same thing, but I'm just a bit older. But we're going to get to a point where Viserys is old, and it's like, oh, this guy actually is done this time.
We actually do need a new heir, and we need it right now. Yeah. Anyway, this episode wasn't a breath of fresh air, that's for sure. What will I give it out of 10? I do feel like every episode has got a little bit worse. Now, I gave the last episode a 6. I don't know if I want to say this one was a 5, but you know what? I'll give it a 6, but it's a weaker 6 than the Rogue Prince for sure.
I'll give it a 5. I didn't like the Daemon scene. Unrealistic for me.
Yeah, actually, it was very unrealistic.
Like we're talking about, he's getting sprayed upon by like 100 archers, and I think he got hit at the end, and then he fell, and then that's when the dragons killed them all. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this would be like Ned, right? Trying to take down the the Kingsguard and Joffrey, but instead of going to the City Watch for the 2,000 men, he's like, nah, fuck that, Littlefinger, I don't need them. Ned just storms in, takes down the Hound, takes down the old guy, Selmy Barristan, just slices them all down and then kills Joffrey.
See if this is like the last episode, right, of the show, and they want to send this guy out with a bang. I can get it, but it's episode 3 of season 1. There's no need for this.
If Daemon's if he's capable of doing this, then why does he need any support? Why doesn't he just go and take the Iron Throne himself?
Exactly.
Anyway, that's it, guys. 5.5.
No, what is the age gap though between Viserys and Daemon?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
I don't think Viserys could do this.
Viserys can barely fucking get up off his seat.
Is he letting maggots eat his baby finger, man?
Anyway, that's it, guys. 5.5 out of 10. Hopefully next episode gets better. We just need a little bit more than who's it going to be. Is it going to be this person or that person? Is it going to be A or B? Is it going to be 1 or 2? I think we need a bit more conflict. Pretty much everything has just been inner conflict. And it's not even inner conflict. It's literally just choices so far. And it's like, right, okay, where's the serious threat? You know, where's the storyline? Where's the direction?
It's funny though.
Where's this
like,
going?
Episode 2 ends with those two like, we're going to bring down Viserys. Let's partner up. And 3 years later, they've done nothing.
Aye. Anyway, guys, that's it. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.
Daemon may have been crowned the king of the Narrow Sea, but before we crown the guy, let's check his hard drive. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. It's season 1 of episode 4, House of the Dragon. And I think this one was the worst episode yet.
Yeah, for the first 4 episodes, we've had multiple people trying to be heir to the throne, but in this episode we had multiple kings. Even though it didn't really last long, Daemon gave his crown his non-important, non-meaningful title of King of the Narrow Sea. I mean, what even is the King of the Narrow Sea? How can you be the king of an area that is literally being ruled by the actual king anyway? I mean, it doesn't really make much sense to me. I mean, you can be king of the dinner plate, but if there's a king of the house, then he owns the dinner plate, doesn't he? So at the end of the day,
It was a poor analogy, but we're getting there.
yeah, we're getting there. We're heading in the right direction. So we begin at Storm's End, where we basically see that Rhaenyra is receiving suitors to become a king or a prince to her, really. So they're looking for her to marry off to...
I mean, this is 1 year after last episode. I mean, what is it with the time skips, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've already did it, but we're in 4 episodes in, and I'm going to assume that we're at least 4 years in.
Yeah, and
maybe
in the, first
5.
in the first episode, there was like a 7-year time skip as well. So, I mean, you're looking at like, what, 12, 13, 14 years?
Yeah, but basically none of the suitors here are suitable. They're either too old or too young or just not really that important. So she leaves after being given like an option of... I mean, she complains about not being able to marry who she wants, even though not... Even the king didn't have that fucking option, so it makes her think she's so special.
She's literally able to marry who she wants because...
Maybe if you're a commoner, you can marry who you want, but...
Yeah, but she's kind of getting that luxury.
Well, she's getting more options and...
Yeah, like, she's getting hundreds of people to marry here. Yeah, are all the options great? No, you're going for like an 80-year-old to an 8-year-old.
King Viserys was told either you're going to be a nonce or a big nonce.
Aye.
What do you want to be? A little nonce or big nonce?
Big nonce, little
So,
nonce.
like, she got a lot of options here. She doesn't like any of them. She leaves while 2 boys are fighting to... I don't know, to take her
2
hand.
boys?
Well,
There's
one...
like a 12-year-old against a 20-year-old and he battered him,
And the
killed him.
12-year-old one killed him, knife through the stomach. So yeah, we get that. That was not bad. Then we return to King's Landing, where Daemon he walks in. He's been summoned by King Viserys. He bows down, he gets on his knee, and he hands over his crown because he knows that there's only one rightful king. And he explains how he took control of the sea or the river rock or whatever it's called, the narrow sea.
You know what? This feels about 20 years ago. This episode was so boring.
No, I thought it started off okay.
Yep.
Now, what we discussed was alright. I thought her looking at the suitors was not bad. I think Daemon returning to King's Landing and basically pledging allegiance to his king.
Yeah, at this point, you're probably sitting at like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it was not bad at this point, but then what we got next was... It wasn't really a montage, but it was like probably 20 to 25 minutes of just Daemon and Rhaenyra walking about the... I don't know what you'd call it.
The common people.
The common people's area.
The third world.
You just see lots of incest, lots of promiscuous sex, lots of hookers, lots of whores and sluts and people just having sex. And all of a sudden you see Rhaenyra beginning to like this. She doesn't like the idea of getting married to and having a prince and potentially being queen one day. She doesn't like the idea of having a husband to be faithful to, but she seems to like the idea of being on the streets and sleeping with all these commoners. I mean,
can definitely see
if Daemon proposed Rhaenyra to open an OnlyFans, she would have probably done it in this episode.
You can see the left tendencies, the liberal tendencies in this show, where they're trying to portray, you know, the stay-at-home wife is fucking evil, and if you want to go and sleep with all these men, then you do it. And even if one of them's your uncle, you go ahead and do it. Yeah. It's in power.
So Rhaenyra and Daemon begin to kiss, and they begin taking each other's clothes off, and you feel like they're going to have sex, but then Daemon kind of just disappears out of nowhere. Sir Christian Cole comes to check on Rhaenyra, and then she takes him by the hand. She steals his crown, sleeps with him, but they did it in a way to make it seem as if it was like as most consensual as you could possibly make it. And I did read something about how the creator wanted it to be different because they look back at season 1 and they think that the way Drogo and Daenerys got on was very forceful, and it's like, yeah, but isn't that more realistic? But anyway, they focused on this scene where it was like a 50-50 thing, so I mean, I get that. Then the next day, Otto Hightower's got spies. I don't know if he's spying necessarily on the princess, but one of his spies noted that the princess was in a brothel. So he takes it to the king. King Viserys doesn't really believe him, but at the same time believes him a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing it to save face. He probably doesn't want to, like, openly accept that Otto here, that his daughter's a whore, sleeping with her uncle.
So
I mean, it's quite a lot of weight to be hit with.
yeah, so Daemon gets dragged to the king, and then King Viserys starts kicking him on the ground, and he wants him to admit. He says, "You won't deny it." And then Daemon pretty much just admits it, and he says, "Look, I'll admit it. Let me marry your daughter." And it's like, what the fuck? And I get it. Partly Targaryens have done this for years and years, but it just seems fucked up. I mean, it's one thing potentially if your brother and sister are like the same age or something and you're deciding it between you, but it just seems weird that Daemon is saying to his brother to give his daughter, who must be still underage, I'm assuming at this point, must be like 17.
See, for Daemon, right, it sounds like he's literally piled drink into Viserys' daughter, took her into like the common part of the city, shown her this whorehouse. I mean, and then they've tried to sleep with each other, and he backed out of it. But the king doesn't know any of that. He thinks they've actually slept together.
And then he asks the king for her hand in marriage. You're like, what the fuck? And King Viserys just holds a dagger to his throat and basically allows him to leave and return to be the shitey king of the Narrow Sea and try and hold on to whatever reputation he has
He
left.
may be the shitey king of the Narrow Sea, but this guy Viserys is an absolute waster. Like, you get, there's kings, right, like Robert, who I don't think would have cared, honestly, right, if this was his daughter, as long as he's the fucking king and he gets to do what he wants. But Viserys is like, he does have a bit of honour about him, and he's a nice guy, but like...
Is he too nice?
Yeah, like, you see that there's no way, like, Ned would accept this. This guy should fucking die.
Yeah, see if, what's Ned's brother again? Benji? Like, see if Benji, like, said he slept with Sansa, like, and then he wanted to marry her, would Ned be... That's cool.
Took her to a whorehouse and all that.
I mean,
No.
I can't imagine Ned would let that slide.
And that's on top of everything else he's done, by the way. It's not just this.
Yeah, so...
No, if Viserys just slit Daemon's throat here, it would be justified.
Although
He's the fucking king.
I mean, I guess you could say it's his brother, and he's basically just said, right, you're dead to me kind of deal, so... I mean, he's letting him live, but it appears that he wants nothing else to do with him, so... I mean, I get it. He's honourable, I guess. Maybe he doesn't want to kill his blood, but... It's just a bit strange that he's allowing Daemon to get away with this. He then talks to his daughter about it. She denies it, even though I think she's lying, because she says nothing happened. But something did happen. Right? They didn't go all the way, but... I mean, it looked like the intention was there.
Yeah, but Daemon didn't. Daemon pretty much, like, let on that it went all the way.
Yeah.
He's like, better me than some other random commoner.
Yeah, so she kind of denies that it happened, even though she did sleep with Sir Christian Cole, but the king doesn't really know about that. She then complains about how the men can sleep with whoever they want and the women can't. And he said if she was a boy, if she was born a man, she'd be able to sleep with as many whores as she wanted to. And Viserys reminds her, that's true, but you were born a woman.
Yeah, and that's just the letter of the law, right? That's these times, but again, because it's made in 2022, they make it all fucking woke.
Daemon also said that to him.
Yeah, women do not think like this in these times, right? And they're even trying to make Alicent think that way as well when she's sleeping with Viserys. It's so fucking forced, man.
Yeah, it's like she's like lying there thinking, oh, fuck, I could have had a different life and been with somebody I wanted to be, but instead I'm stuck with this old king.
No, yo,
that's the kind of vibes you get. And this is like, I mean, it's not like this is 100 years or whatever after Game of Thrones. This is before Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and it's not, and it's not that these people can't think for themselves. I look at Game of Thrones to compare it. I mean, like, Cersei thinks for herself, absolutely. Master manipulator in that sense, but it's like they are using 2020 logic in a show that's like so far long ago.
I would
but this would be like Daemon coming in and be like, I think a great idea to reclaim the Narrow Sea would be to hijack a shipment of M16s and fucking Glocks. But no, you can't do that because they don't know about guns like that.
Yeah,
they don't have guns.
I think Cersei's a strong female character that plays within the rules of the timeline.
Yes.
You know, it's not like Cersei saying, well, I wish I could sleep with as many people as King Robert, and you know, she played within the rules that women had back then to like manipulate and stay on top and have power. But the way that Rhaenyra does it, it's just not believable.
I'm not saying they're trying to hide it, but I'm not saying you have to be eagle-eyed either, but I think if you know your politics, you can clearly see what they're going for here.
It's getting shoved in.
If you have like a low IQ, right, and you just watch shows for the sake of it, you might not notice it, right? But when you compare it to Game of Thrones, in the same time, no, it's so fucking obvious on the eye, man. It's so odd. And the show's boring as hell, but see when it's boring and woke, it was nothing happened. Over an hour, 62 fucking minutes of what?
And then at the end, Rhaenyra basically agrees. She says, right, I will marry so-and-so, forget his name, but...
Corley's his son.
Yeah, Valerian. So she's going to marry the son. She says she'll do it. Her duty as a princess. She will marry him, but Viserys needs to commit to his duties as a king, and what she means by that is he needs to find a new hand. So he summons Otto Hightower, tells him that he has served him faithfully and honourably, but it is now time for a new hand because he can no longer trust him because he believes that he lied about Rhaenyra and Daemon, and that well, not even necessarily that he lied, but he believes that his sole mission is to get his son Aemon to be the new heir to the throne, and he just can't trust them. He doesn't think that the throne, the realm, is Otto Hightower's priority now. He thinks he only cares about making sure that his grandson is the heir to that throne, and he also brings up some past stuff about how he may have potentially allowed someone to die or kill someone to get his position as Hand of the King. He kept talking about 5 days. Not quite sure what that is. We haven't really heard about
this episode.
Yeah, we haven't really heard about this backstory, but we kept getting the 5 days thing.
It's so pathetic, right? The two people that manipulate this guy the most are Daemon and his daughter, right? And who is she to make him change his hand?
Yeah,
she's like,
so...
he's like, no matter what, you're marrying this guy, I don't give two fucks. And then she's like, okay, I will, father. But only if you get rid of the Hand of the King. No, it's like, he should be like, no, I'm keeping him.
And I feel like Otto Hightower was done dirty here.
It's not even like he lied. Obviously, I mean, we don't know if he had spies, right, whatever. But his information was fucking true. It's not like it was fake, not like it was false. This is completely unjust. And
he wasn't.
He's a little bitch.
He wasn't lying to be like deceitful or to actually try and replace Rhaenyra as the heir to the throne. He was legitimately telling the truth. So yeah, really surprised here that he got replaced as Hand of the King. We'll see what happens.
You know what my biggest problem with this show is, right? See the fact it's woke, see the fact it's boring, I can almost accept that. Who am I supposed to root for?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably my favourite character so far is either King Viserys or Otto Hightower, King Viserys a bit...
But, so we're 4 episodes in, man, and I'm just looking at it and I'm like, I just don't care about any of them. Same Game of Thrones, you were rooting for Ned Stark. I think, Jon Snow going to the wall. Tyrion, yeah, he's a Lannister, but he's funny. Robert as well. I don't when he was speaking with Ned, he was likable. I mean, yeah, he was a bit of a prick, but you watch this and it's like, I don't care for Daemon. I don't care. I hate Rhaenyra. I really don't like her.
See if we're taking the first 4 episodes of Game of Thrones and we're taking the first 4 episodes of House of the Dragon, and we are ranking all the characters from both shows. How far do you think you go down the list until you come to a House of Dragon character? So if you're ranking both shows' characters in the same list, and you're starting at the top for the best character after 4 episodes of each series, how far down the character list do you think you're going until you insert a House of the Dragon character? Because I'm thinking you're probably maybe at least 15, 20.
Easily. Because, I think there's only 4 characters in this show that are worth a damn. Otto, Daemon, Rhaenyra, and Viserys. And I don't like any of them, really. Otto Hightower seems alright, but there's nothing to him. The members of the council are just fucking boring. There's not one bit of personality there. The other people that they've introduced, the guys at the Narrow Sea, apart from Daemon, who cares? You've got the dragons flying about. Oh, the dragons. It's so bad. This show is so fucking bland and cookie cutter. It is literally... You know what it just reminds me of? Yeah, we're a spin-off, we're a sequel of Game of Thrones, and we're going to milk it, but we're not going to fucking put any sort of effort into it.
The problem is, it started off okay.
And got worse.
And it's got worse. So, when you start off okay, you need to try and get better, but no, it's getting worse. And yeah, this was a poor episode. I thought it ended okay, and I thought it began okay, but there was like a 25-30 minute in the middle there that, I mean, they literally did spend way too long on Damon and Rhaenyra just going through and it's like, I am just sick of the sex scenes. It's like every 5 minutes you're looking and there's just fucking random people having, like, why does it need to be every episode? We get it, right? It's going on, but do they need to show it constantly?
Yeah,
it's almost like it's
OTT.
It's almost like it's, you know, we know this is poor, but sex sells, so we're just going to try and include as many sex scenes as we can.
Yeah.
See, Game of Thrones, actually, no, I think there was too many sex scenes in Game of Thrones, but compared to House of the Dragon, there's barely any. Feels like every corner you turn round.
But
like
they were throwaway in Game of Thrones, I feel like. They were to start a scene or end a scene. See this middle part of this episode, like you touched upon it was like fucking 25 minutes. Even the play they did, mocking the family, it was like a drag queen show. You had like men with makeup pretending to fucking fire out kids.
Yeah, and like they're bashing the princess and she's just standing there watching it.
Same with Damon. Yeah, it's fat.
This would be the equivalent of someone doing a play and Joffrey's sitting there watching it and they're bashing him.
Yeah.
Joffrey would demand the Hound kill them all. So
kill him, dog.
Anyway,
I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. Yeah, really poor. And just incestuous, man.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 4, so a 3.5 out of 10. Easily the worst episode so far.
It's like, they could have created so much friction out of Damon and Rhaenyra doing that. And Viserys pretty much sweeps it under the carpet and gets rid of the guy that brought it to his attention for no reason. Like, I think almost like everything that was done this episode was undone by the ending, though.
Yeah, it's like, why not continue that on for an episode? Like, does Viserys believe it, or like, what's he going to do about it?
Pretty much at the end here, you were right. My brother's a bastard, my daughter's a whore, but I've made a deal with her in order for her to get married. I'll have to get rid of you, so sorry about that, mate.
I'll find a new hand. Anyway,
and he had to soften the blow by kind of bringing up the fact he might have killed that guy before or had a hand in it.
Almost trying to justify it.
He's pathetic for Viserys, man.
Anyway, that's it. We're giving it a 3.5 out of 10. I thought it started okay and I thought it ended okay, but the middle was just diabolical. So yeah, for me, and all the feminism and woke shit and Rhaenyra. Why can't I do what the men do? And it's like, come on, look at the error this is set in. You just didn't think that way. See, if this was set in 2024, I mean, I could totally understand. I could accept the direction they're going.
Yep.
If it was somehow you had this timeline, but it was set in 2024, but nah.
And then, like, she's running, she's like, oh, that's the first taste of freedom I've ever got. You've no idea how lenient she's got it, like.
And also, it's just, we're 4 episodes in, and what has really happened?
Nothing.
Where's the threat? Where's the enemy? Where's the intriguing stories? There's just nothing really there. So, guys, 3.5 out of 10. People
it's like Damon commits the cardinal sin here, and Viserys doesn't care. I honestly feel like if he killed Rhaenyra, it'd have been like, oh well, I'll banish you to this land for 3 days, mate. And I'll still blame Otto Hightower for it.
Yeah, like I say, this is like Benji Stark sleeping with Sansa and then telling Ned, well, let's keep it in the family, let me marry her.
I know, to have the audacity to say that, man, and this prick just fucking laughs it off.
Anyway, that's it, guys. 3.5 out of 10. People said that season 1 of House of the Dragons is up there with the best seasons of Game of Thrones. I disagree big time.
I don't know what would have to happen.
I disagree big time.
Ned Stark would have to get a time travelling device to come back and do something.
Anyway, that's it. Hopefully episode 5 can get a little bit better. I mean, I think it will. We'll see the direction. I actually remember reading, so I can't remember, but I remember reading somewhere that the first 4 episodes are slow and it picks up after that. So, I mean, let's hope that article was true.
We need a time skip again. We need the different actors to come in.
Yeah, but then you feel like with all these time skips, it's like you're losing the story almost. Like, I see the first season of Game of Thrones. See if they had time, like a year or 2 year time skip after every episode, it wouldn't be as good.
No.
Because you need to know what happens next. Having a time skip just takes away any sort of tension and any sort of like rivalry that's been built up.
Yeah, no, absolutely, but
because time heals things. So when you're having all these time skips,
a day or 2, but years.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, 3.5 out of 10. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace. Sir Leonor Falarian is gay, and we light the way here on Fog Entertainment. Welcome back, guys, to House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 5. It's time to get straight into it. It's time for the mid-season finale review, even though there was no mid-season finale. It's just straight up 10
it's
episodes.
the halfway point, folks. And,
well, after we finish this, it'll be the halfway point, technically.
yes, it's the halfway point, though, when it ends, but it's not over yet. We have to go to the start.
Well, it's barely even began.
If you like rabbit stew and you like people getting crippled by horses falling on them, then you'll like this intro. But if you don't like us, this intro is probably one of the better parts of the episode. Very a dark side to Daemon, killing his wife like that.
Yeah, so we see Daemon showing up. His wife is there. His wife's getting ready to cook dinner. She's been on the hunt. Seems a little bit woke to me, but yeah.
The woman is on the hunt. She's got the
providing for the man.
I think Daemon, man, this Matt Smith guy is just weird, right? I don't know. I can't explain it. Seeing he walks around with his hood up, he's missing chromosomes. He's got something wrong with him.
Now, I think Daemon's supposed to be a likeable character, but I mean, he's just straight up murdered this person without any real reason.
How can anybody like this guy? I think there's a difference between someone being bad and you like them. I don't think this guy's portrayed as a likable guy. No. People may like him, right? But look at the stuff he was getting on to last episode. Likable guy. Come on, nah, I'm not excited. If you like this guy, check his hard drive. I don't like this guy.
I suppose, like in most worlds, like if someone's brother was like fondling their underage daughter, they'd be angry about it.
But killing their wife.
But this guy, King Viserys, just let all that slide.
There's a key point, right? You said this guy's likable, even though you said it.
Well, he's an arsehole
for other people. Who is likable? Who in this show do I like? No one.
Right, well, let's review this episode, then we'll decide whether we like anybody after it. So, yeah, we see Daemon killing his wife. I mean, she was attempting to go for her knife, I guess, but maybe she realised that Daemon was going to try and kill her. Now, why Daemon killed her, I'm not too sure. The horse fell back, crushed her. She then said, I guess you couldn't finish. I knew you couldn't get the job finished. I don't know if that was a sex joke or whatever, but then he walked away, grabs a rock, he comes back, and then we cut to a new scene. We cut to someone cutting fish. Now, is there a reason they didn't show that? I don't know. I think we've seen worse scenes. Like, I reckon it's because it's probably a man bashing a woman's face in here. That's the reason it wasn't seen.
I think he's done it to get Runstone, or whatever she inherited it. What's he going to do with that? I guess we'll wait for the second half of this season.
Yeah, no, but I just think it's weird in a show where you can show a lot of, like, gross violence. Like, they didn't show this, but whatever. So, yeah, that happens. Then King Viserys sails to Driftmark because he's going to ask Corlys Valerian to basically wed off his son to his daughter, Rhaenyra. So, he asks that, and then Corlys Valerian, who, in my opinion, is rightful to be intrigued about how this is going to work when they do become king and queen and when they have kids. Like, what name are they going to take on? And then we have Viserys telling, well, yeah, as per normal, when the kids are born, they will have your name, but when they sit on the throne, they will be known as a Targaryen. So, I mean, this doesn't make any sense to me. Let's say Princess Rhaenyra and Laenor Valerian, let's say they have sons. Let's say they have one son, and they call the son Dipshit, right? So Dipshit Valerian that's going to be his name, and then maybe when he's 21, both the king and queen die in a car crash, even though there is no cars back here.
A horse crash.
A dragon crash, whatever. And then this guy's going to sit on the throne, and as soon as his little gay arse cheeks, I'm assuming he's going to be half gay because his father's gay, but anyway, as soon as his arse cheeks hit the throne, he's no longer going to be called Dipshit Valerian, he's going to be called Dipshit Targaryen. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense.
It's just woke, right? And also, Viserys won't be there to see that, because obviously he'll be dead. And where's the proof that they would actually follow protocol with that? It makes no fucking sense to them to do it, by the way. The only way, right? But see, I'm saying he won't be there. Bloody Rhaenyra won't be either, because it takes her to die for that guy to become king.
Yeah,
and if she's not there, you try to tell me if Lord Corlys and the princess or whatever's still alive, they're going to see that through. They're going to make sure that their name gets took off the throne.
The man, right? I mean, we're in 2024, right? And unless you're some sort of fucking freak, the woman always takes a man's name.
Yeah.
So we know that back in this era, it was undeniable. It wasn't even a question.
No, but
right?
he also said something key as well, for interrupting. He said, it doesn't matter what gender the child is, they will be first in line to the throne. Like how pathetic's that, though? At least for him, when he gave it to Rhaenyra,
True, but
his son wasn't born.
But I think that was more him trying to press home the fact that, look, you need to make sure that Rhaenyra is definitely the heir here.
Nah, the woke tendencies are coming out thick and fast with each passing episode.
But either way, it's like, surely King Viserys must have realised that, yes, he can name his daughter heir to the throne if he wants, but he is essentially going to be giving up the throne when she marries.
What I would say as well is, even the term gender in these times...
No, but is that not part of the consequence of him naming his daughter the heir to the throne?
Yep, no, I would agree.
That when she marries, as soon as she dies, technically the Targaryen name is given up how did he not realise that when he named her? That is why it's always the son that's named, because they want to keep the name.
Yep, exactly.
But, you know, fuck, whatever.
But do you not see a problem with the fact that he said gender? Doesn't matter the gender of the child. That's not a term they used back in the day. They would say the sex of the child, but obviously in 2024 it's, oh, how many genders is there? That's why that word gender's been forced in there by King Viserys. It's you go woke, you go broke. They can have 10 million viewers, man, but if you can't see through this and you're blind, you're Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, anyway, Lionel Strong has been appointed the new Hand of the King. I think Otto Hightower was fucking robbed here, to be honest. We see a scene where Otto is speaking to the Queen, and he basically says, look, you believed Rhaenyra more than you believed me, and he rides off into the sunset.
Tells her that she'll kill all your children just to solidify.
The Queen then goes to speak with Sir Christian Cole to see if what her father was saying is true. She's trying to suggest here that Daemon and Rhaenyra sleep together, but Christian Cole just outs himself and goes, no, I slept with her. So, I mean, at this point, the Queen must be thinking, holy fuck, what a whore Rhaenyra is. I mean, she's...
Yeah, because the confirmation of Cole doing it also confirms Daemon in my eyes, and I think you can clearly see that out of her.
Yeah, but I mean, for the whole point is, right, it doesn't exactly matter who she slept with.
True.
Otto Hightower's, what he said was true, okay, so that's basically all we need to know there. Christian Cole is going to accept his, punishment, death. He wants to be mercifully deathed, I guess. But she allows him to go. We see Rhaenyra speaking with her husband-to-be, Laenor Velaryon. Turns out he's gay. We didn't actually catch on, but she was talking about how they have different palates and how one might like goose and another one might like duck, and they can't explain it, but, you know, they can still go their separate ways. They can still feast on their preferred course.
Why are they speaking in code, by the way? It's only those two there on the beach.
It's
common knowledge he's gay, and she knows it. And now he knows that she likes to sleep around and doesn't want to marry a gay man.
Yeah, but then like she says, look, you can have your way and I can have my way, and again it's like we're talking like, how could it just doesn't make sense where a king would like knowingly let his wife sleep around with other guys. I mean, when you look at the whole Renly situation in Game of Thrones, I mean, that was done a lot differently. I don't remember Margaery ever saying, you know what, well, when you and my brother are asleep, I'm going to go out and... No, I mean, I'm pretty sure she would have stayed loyal to Renly.
Yeah.
As a queen, she would have been loyal to Renly, but accepted that maybe Renly wanted to be with other guys. What do you think Cersei... See if this was... See what Rhaenyra is trying to suggest here. See if it was so simple as this. Why didn't Cersei just say to King Robert, by the way, you know that you like to go and sleep with whores? I don't mind, I'll just sleep with Jaime.
Yeah.
It would never...
And Lancel Lannister.
It would never be accepted, right? And this isn't some, like, Andrew Tate shit. This is just, like, common knowledge that back then, this would never have been accepted. And as a king, you may have been allowed to sleep around and have all these whores, but as a queen, there's fucking no way you could have been unfaithful.
Yeah.
Yet Raniera's talking about it as if I'll be alright, you sleep with who you want and I'll sleep with who I
See,
want.
they're trying to rewrite history. That's what they do. That's all they do in these shows now.
And look, that's not us saying it's here. That's not us saying, it's right that the king can do this and it's right that the queen can. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying on how that was in these times. But again, they're trying to rewrite history as if that shit never happened.
And also, this is before Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so
timeline, so it should be even further behind, literally.
But Game of Thrones, first 4 or 5 seasons, came out when pretty much nothing was really woke. So I mean, what chance has a show got these days? But looking at this, man, honestly, you would think that this is like set more towards like current day.
Yeah.
Based on the direction of the show, but it's not. The only difference is it was actually made after Game of Thrones, and we all know what the world's went to since then. Honestly, after that, not a lot really happened, apart from, I'm not even joking, they had their little wedding, toast, dinner, whatever, feast, whatever you want to call it. The Queen walked in late. She was wearing a green cloak. I guess that's a symbol of her house going to war or something like this, so... She's not happy that her father's been replaced as Hand of the King.
So I don't get this, right? She's wearing something symbolising war. You've got Daemon walking in, unanswered. And Viserys is just sitting there accepting it.
Yeah,
Why not? But see with Daemon, it seems like every episode he gets banished and returns.
Yeah, last time...
You can't just keep repeating that. There needs to be substance behind
Last time we seen Daemon, he was basically told by Viserys, I'll let you leave, but now I never want to see you again.
Doesn't even speak to
He
him.
walked in here, it wasn't addressed. The Queen walks in, wasn't addressed. We then get Lena Valerian's boyfriend saying to Christian Cole, I know your secret and we'll both keep it because then we'll both be safe. And then there was like a 20-minute dance scene, I'm not even joking. There's like, and they're not even really dancing, they're kind of just like walking circles around each other. Very weird.
Daemon gets confronted by the cousin of his wife. Oh, you killed her. Oh, you're not allowed to do that, big man. Then he says, I inherit everything she had.
Then he just walks off. He says, I'm here to accuse you of this. And then he's like, well, where's my inheritance? And the guy just walks off. In the meantime, the king is just watching on, like watching all this shit happen. The queen come in late, interrupt him during a speech. His banished brother walks in, doesn't say anything. He's got some guy coming up accusing his brother of killing his wife. Like a murder accusation, and the guy just lets it go.
He sees Daemon dance with his daughter after all the accusations that went down.
And he's okay with it. Then Rhaenyra says, look, this marriage isn't official yet. Why don't you just why don't you kill my father's night guard and take me off with you and we can be together? So Rhaenyra wants to be with Daemon. Daemon, I don't know, he just rejects that, I guess. And then Christian Cole is battering the gay boy that is with Lena Valerian, and it's like the way this was going down, you would have thought there was like a massive riot because like you seen just like loads of bodies being pushed to the left, pushed to the right. I mean, it was literally just a brawl between two people.
Yep.
We have Lena Valerian is trying to get Christian Cole off. He can't, and Christian Cole was just continuing to pound down on this guy. King Viserys is watching on.
He wishes it was Corlys' son pounding down on him, but it's not.
Yeah, just watching on, and then we see some guy come in, takes Princess Rhaenyra away, and then Christian Cole eventually just gives up, and he gets up, and the guy that he was pounding away on is like fucking dead, and his face has literally been caved in. King Viserys the entire time could have stopped it, I guess, and I mean, didn't bother, so... I don't know what happened
started
there.
bleeding, they get married, he collapses, good night, right? I think Viserys is the worst king I've seen in TV movie history.
Now,
obviously there's people who've not had the time.
Now,
right?
his new hand did say that, well, there's been no trouble, so therefore, you know, you might have been a shite king, you might not have won any wars, but you've lived in you've ruled over a time where nothing bad happened, so therefore I would consider you a good king.
Yeah.
Well, it's just, I mean, you could argue he's had an easy reign.
No, he has had an easy reign, and I get it. Peace means a lot in these times, but yo, it's not. See what we're saying, right? See him dealing with that murder, or killing Daemon, or any other situation that's arose in these 5 episodes. See him stepping up to task. Would it really have resulted in all-out war? Especially with Daemon. He's let Daemon walk over the fucking top of him. If he kills his own brother, who's going to go to war for Daemon? He's the weakest king I've ever seen. I mean, he's 4 years older than Daemon. He gets on like he's 40 years older than him.
Well, we know he's obviously ill. I don't know how much longer he's got left. At this rate, well, King Robert lasted, what, halfway through episode 7?
What I would say is, obviously...
I mean, at this rate...
We've got a time skip to the older actors come in. He must die in that.
Is the King Viserys reign, is that going to be over or under 7.5?
I'd say under. He's way worse than Robert with that. But, I mean, him and Ned are talking. You can get behind it. It's like at least Robert had a glory day. This guy's had nothing.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I can't really think of any engaging conversations that's been had in this show. It's like any time Robert and Ned were speaking, like you were paying attention word to word what they were saying. Like, you've got this new Hand of the King, and I don't think Otto Hightower's great, but he was certainly better than this new Hand.
I think Viserys has literally come out second best in every conversation he's had. And that's daunting when you're the king. Everyone's brawling. We've seen Robert, right? Oh, in the name of your king, stand down. He managed to get the Hound in the Mountain to fucking stand apart, and this guy can't get, women and children to even stop running about the dance floor screaming. Pathetic, weak ass mind at king.
Anyway, time for episode rating. You know what? It wasn't the worst episode I've ever seen, but
it's slow.
There was just a part in the middle where it was literally 20 minutes of fucking just people walking around each other. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I felt like it could have been better, but
it was 59 minutes. You could have hoovered 19 minutes off it, easy.
Aye.
So I'm going to give it a 5 as well. There you go.
5 out of 10, guys. Let us know what you think down below. But we have a death here. Who died in this episode? His name was... My name is Slim Shady. No, his name's not Slim Shady. His name
Shady
is indeed... Drum roll, please.
Dun, dun,
as I try and find his name.
Dun 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 dun.
Sir Joffrey Lawnmouth.
Joffrey Lawnmouth.
And then obviously at the start we had the death of Lady Rhea Royce. So yeah, there you go. That was her first scene and her last scene. So there you go, guys. Anyway, that's it. We'll catch you in the next one. Otto Hightower, don't know where he was. He wasn't at the wedding. Probably licking his wounds. Probably upset he's been replaced, and I don't blame him. He's been fucking shafted. Anyway, that's it. Till next time. Peace. We're already 5 episodes into House of the Dragon, and it feels like we've had about 5 years worth of time skip. So, what better way to start episode 6 than another 10 years time skip? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. Time to review House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 6. This one is called The Princess and the Queen. At this point, I've honestly lost track of how many years they've actually skipped in this show, but judging on the sons of the king, I mean, I would have to assume that he married Queen Alicent when... We must be looking at least 16, 17 years here.
That's what we're looking at. I'm not a fan of it. And no, I'm not. Here, I can accept time skips, right? And here, if you need to make kids go for kids to like early adults, I can accept that. We are making people who are in their 20s or late teens and changing actors. What's the need? No, what's the actual... See Queen Alicent, right? What is the need to change in her actor?
The only...
Actress...
Pretty much the only big character who's still the same is Daemon. And it's weird because everyone else has aged a shitload, yet he still looks the same age as they did in episode 1.
No, it's a load of shite.
Now, why did they not either try and make him look older or try and make him look younger in the earlier episodes?
No, it's funny.
But they haven't done that.
No, it's funny. See, Rhaenyra, right? She would change more in appearance between like 13 and 18, which we've already had that bit of time skip, than she would between 18 and 28.
Yeah, and what I don't get is, like, the person that played the young Rhaenyra, she was like 24. They could have just did stuff with makeup to make her look younger. There was no need to have 2 different... Some of these characters have 3 different and I get it. See if you're like a fucking child, see if you're like 11 years old, right? They can't exactly have you playing someone who's 28. But like a lot of these people that they have to play the teen versions of the characters, they're already in their mid-20s, and then they're replacing them for the 10-year time skip. If a 24-year-old can play a 14-year-old, then why can't this same 24-year-old play like a 28-year-old?
Yeah.
They're closer in age to the actual older character than they are the younger character that they've been brought in to play.
This is the first TV show I've witnessed this in. Across the cast. You might get the odd character that gets recast.
Rhaenyra, when it first starts, she's 14. And the actress that plays her is 24. So I don't know what age she is now after this 10-year time skip, but you'd have to imagine that she's still closer to 24 than she is 14.
No, I would agree with that, but I don't like it, man. It's almost insulting to the viewer just to change up the actors like this and the amount of time skips in a show. It's almost like, here, you better have watched Game of Thrones before you watch this show, or else what you doing? That's what it feels like to me.
And I don't know, it's just a mess as well. See, when it comes to just like handing out awards or talking about this in like years to come, it's I get saying, oh, did you watch Game of Thrones? Oh, who was your favourite character? Ned Stark. Oh, was it when he was played by Sean Bean, or was it when he was played by some? That doesn't. I think it's just weird that if people are bringing up, oh, who was your favourite character? Like, let's say when this show's finished and done, you're like, my favourite character was Rhaenyra. Well, I mean, who was your favourite actress? It's just weird that...
No, you get used to the actress, and we're not talking about Diddy character, we're talking about the main character.
And look, it's different. I know Dexter, right, has some flashbacks, and you have like a younger first, but, I mean, we're talking, that's like a minuscule amount of time that they get. I mean, this Rhaenyra was basically the first 5 episodes played by Emily Wilcock or something like that, and I'm going to have to assume that they might have flashback episodes in the future where they bring back the younger version.
Yeah, it would feel weird to just completely sever all these younger versions of the characters.
I just think it's a mess.
No, it is a mess.
So see after the season 1, right, if Rhaenyra has been played 5 episodes by that Emily chick and then 5 episodes by that Emma Lefty Freak Show chick, it's like, see if this Rhaenyra gets awarded. No, if they go to the Emmys and she wins, best character. I mean, who collects the award? You know, it's like it's just fucking strange.
They both had 5 episodes each.
It's very, very strange. But anyway, we get a 10-year time skip, and nothing has really changed. The first 5 episodes is basically inner conflict, and that is what we have here. The episode's titled "The Princess and the Queen." And it just feels like there is a battle for power between the princess and the queen. The only difference is now they have children.
Yeah, I don't like any of the kids. Sir Christian Cole, we thought he grew a beard. Turns out that's a completely different character.
Looks like Sir Christian Cole was now Team Alicent and not Team Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra, who's sleeping, obviously she got married to, I believe, is it Laenor Valerian or whatever his name was? Corlys' his son, but the kids are all fucking white. So she's not been sleeping with him. She's been sleeping with some other guy who I believe is the son of the Hand of the King, but not Otto Hightower, the other Hand of the King, the Hand of the King that sucks. So many changes.
They're all like, no, but they're all like, oh, that doesn't look like, what's the Corlys' son's kids? Well, obviously, they should look a bit black. I mean, yo, it's one thing, right, in Game of Thrones here. He's got blonde hair, that must be the incestuous ones. Oh, but he's got black hair, that must be Robert's. Yo, hair colour can change, that's skin colour's completely unrealistic to change. And, like, the fact that this dumb bastard, who's, you know, supposed to, like, have a line to the throne, he's Corlys' son, and he's just sitting there accepting this?
Yes, but...
pretending that he's daddy?
In Game of Thrones, you were led to believe that would be fucking massive. If the truth got out, the Lannisters would all been killed. Robert would have had their heads.
Aye.
Ned was trying to do after he found out he's trying to do the right thing and allowed them to escape. In this, it's almost like it's not a secret. It's almost like everybody knows that... Well, I mean, what do you mean it's not a secret? It can't be a secret. The kids ain't fucking black.
Yep. It can't be a secret, or it's the worst kept secret. One of the two.
And it just doesn't make any sense, because Corlys was for this arrangement, because this arrangement was essentially going to put a Valerian on top because his son Laenor would marry Rhaenyra, and she's going to be the queen, and therefore their kids that would be Valerians would rise up, and it would put them in power, right? It would make them the most important family or whatever in the Seven Kingdoms. But the fact that these are Rhaenyra's kids, but they're not Laenor's kids, that means the Valerians are cut out. Corley's deal is non-effective. It doesn't.
No spoiler here, but I seen like a short and they recommend it. It's like Corley's freaking out because he's found out his grandchildren aren't actually his grandchildren. But it's like, hold on here, they're like 8. Some of them are near 10 because of this time skip.
What took them so long?
Realising now, Corley's? You colourblind? Even if you're colourblind, you can see black and white.
And I see the George Robert guy. What's his name? George R. The guy
Martin?
Him. He came out and says that he wanted he basically said he didn't just pick them to be black because he wasn't doing it to be diverse, but he wanted the Valerians to look different. Therefore, he thought making them black would be a good idea. So basically, he did pick them because they were black.
Because they were different.
He said he wanted maybe that's the same as diversity. I don't understand why he doesn't get that, but he said that the sole reason he selected the Valerians to be black wasn't because of diversity and to be inclusive. He just wanted the Valerians to look different, to have like a different sort of look to stand out. For me, that's the exact same reason. And then he said that's why I picked them to be black.
But but he's created a plot hole here because of course the kids aren't going to look like him if they're completely different.
Yeah,
races.
that does not take Corley's 8 years to figure out. Oh, holy shit! Wait. My grandsons, these aren't my that should be fucking happening straight away. So imagine Sons of Anarchy. Imagine Gemma finding out when Abel's like 8 and Abel's black. She's like, oh, hold on, I don't think this is Jax's kid. No, but like, come on, fuck. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? So we have Sir Christian Cole. He's teaching the kids how to fight. So you've got Rhaenyra's kids, you've got Alicent's kids. And he's basically letting Alicent's kids go a bit rough on Rhaenyra's kids, to which some guy whose name is... I don't even know what the fucking guy's name is called, to be honest, but he jumps in to stop... I don't know, he jumps in to, like, stop the beatdown.
Rhaenyra's fucking father, not a father, but he's the father of our kids.
And Christian Cole basically points out that, here, why else would you be trying to protect these kids unless you were... This is a protection only a father would understand. So he beats up Christian Cole, who's obviously a member of the Knights Guard, so he needs to effectively be taken away from here. When Alicent... No, not Alicent, sorry. Rhaenyra has another child with Laenor, so I think this is their 3rd child.
Yeah, they call it Joffrey.
Or maybe their 4th child, actually, because I think they've already got a daughter. Either way, I don't know if this is their 3rd or 4th, but he wants to call it Joffrey after his lover, Joffrey, who was killed at their wedding over 10 years ago. And I'm going to assume that this Laenor guy has been sleeping with other dudes since then. So why is he so hell-bent on this Joffrey name? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Throwback to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and then, you know what, straight from the beginning, like, Rhaenyra's basically saying, look, it's my kid. You don't get to... And, like, at first, I thought it was just, them trying to push the whole feminism thing, where Rhaenyra's like, no, wait, I'm the woman, so therefore the kid's more important. I have more rights to this kid than you do. But then you find out, no, wait, the reason why she's pushing Laenor away is because it's actually not his children.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have been the deal. See, when they said, some of us might like turkey, but the other one likes chicken, and they're using that shite analogy, that wasn't the deal, right? They still would have been expected to have kids together, and then if they wanted to have their secret little lives, that's fine. But let's not pretend like this was part of the arrangement, that they were, like, Rhaenyra was going to have fucking children with somebody else. They must have both knew that when they got wedded and that when they joined their houses aligned, that they were expected to have children together.
Yeah, exactly. What this show's just essentially doing is making the main character a whore and trying to make it, as a good thing.
More feminism, empowerment, I think, there. And Laenor, he must know the kid's ain't his.
Yeah. But see, that's what I don't get, right? He know. I do. I think he does know, right? But what you've got to bear in mind is, if he's gay and he's not having sex with her to have kids, then why is he doing it if he knows that they're not going to be his kids anyway? It's a mess. That's what it is. It's an absolute mess. And then she even references later on, oh, you like having all the boys in your sailor adventures. It's a big crock of shite, man.
So she's gonna bash this guy for having sleep with men, yet she's having kids with other men that ain't even him, yet pretending they are his.
Bit of homophobia there for you, Daenerys.
Daenerys, then we have something where there's dragons and there's like 4 kids or whatever. There's 4 Targaryen kids, but there's only 3 dragons.
And they give the other one a pig. This is 4 kids we didn't even know existed till this episode.
And they're all fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Joffrey wasn't annoying, but Joffrey's far superior to these kids.
Yeah, but Joffrey was supposed to be annoying.
No, but I mean, Joffrey, when you first look at it, you're like, fuck me. There's like, these 4, they all look like wee fannies, don't they?
Fannies.
Well, do you not think they do?
No, they do. I don't like any of them. I don't like anybody in this show.
I mean, compare Joffrey to these 4 fucking sons, man, and I mean, Joffrey would cut through them all.
I mean, Viserys.
Knife through butter.
Let's talk about Viserys, by the way. The guy's just done.
I mean, he seems like he's missing an arm now. He must have lost his arm. So we have that. Alicent and the Queen, they're embroiled in some battle. The father then of Rhaenyra's kids, he is getting sent away, and he gets basically killed at the end of the episode. He gets burnt alive, so not quite sure what's happening there. Daemon and his wife, I forget her name, Elena Valerian, or whatever, Laenor, or whatever she's called, Lena Valerian, for some reason, she decides to set herself on fire with the dragon. She asks the dragon to, I don't know, put her ablaze, turn her into a roast or something, and then the dragon does it.
And now Daemon's left with 2 kids that he didn't really want.
Yeah,
or
so
3, whatever. I don't know what the amount is.
I mean, I honestly don't get this. So we have the death of Lena Valerian. We have the death of, I think it's Harwin Strong. That is the father of Rhaenyra's children. So these 2 characters die, and I mean, Harwin Strong, I think that's his name. We didn't even know he existed until this episode, and then with Lena Valerian, the new actress, has only come in to play her this episode. So it's like, these are just 2 new characters that they've just killed, and we're supposed to care, and we just don't give a shit.
No, of course we're not going to care, and I just don't get it, man. This time skip, I just don't like this show. It's simply living off Game of Thrones for me, and I think that's pretty evident, to be honest. But yeah, I mean that's it. A lot of jobber deaths, a lot of new characters introduced, and it just feels like a reboot halfway through the first season. That's what it feels like. I would be shocked if this went 8 seasons like Game of Thrones. Would you not?
Yeah, no, 100%. So I mean, I'm looking at who's actually died here. Apparently, Lionel Strong died as well.
What, the Hand of the King?
Yes.
Yeah, they burned him alive.
I thought they burned his son alive.
No, sure, his son left to go be his takeover where they came from, because that was his act. It's just fucking garbage, is what it is.
No, I thought Lionel Strong was trying to save his son at the end. He was trying to get out to save him from the fire.
No, that's not what happened. Sure, his son. Wait, so hold on, he's dead.
His son's dead. I just told you that.
They're all dead.
What? Where have you been? I literally just said the father of Rhaenyra's children's dead. What planet are you on?
The planet where this show fucking sucks.
It looked like he was trying to save his son, but now it turns out he's dead as well. So there you go. I thought we only had 2 deaths. We actually have 3 deaths.
Yeah, but hold on.
The Hand of the King's dead.
Yeah, but I knew the Hand of the King was dead.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, but
how could
I thought the other guy wasn't dead. But you thought he was dead?
No, I explained halfway through the review. He's dead. He's just been No, hold on. I said he just got introduced this episode and he's already dead. We're supposed to care, and you're like, I know.
Yeah,
so
but then I counteracted that.
No, he didn't. Lionel Strong's been around since the first episode.
Yeah, I know.
Harwin Strong's only been in since the last one.
Well, sometimes
this one.
But either way, they're both dead.
Aye, so we've got 3 deaths.
The Strong family is weak. They're dead.
Right, well, that's it. Any thoughts on this?
Any thoughts? It's shit. Yo, see if they died, right? And I actually had faith.
What do you mean, see if they did die?
Right, no, they're dead, right? But see if I had faith in Viserys to actually He won't care. He's going to rock in with one arm. How's he even wipe his arse?
Hold on, would it make any difference if he had two?
No, it probably wouldn't. But no, you would feel like if Robert was say Ned died on Robert's watch, right? And it was like things happen. You feel like, oh, he's going to come back with a vengeance next episode.
Get took it by a pig. Fuck me.
Well, no, but Viserys is so shit, man. The guy, he's not a king. King of Ming, maybe, man, but.
Right, that's it, guys. It's time to rate this episode. One of us watched it. The other one, I don't think he did.
I did watch it, man. It was fucking shite.
You didn't even know Harwin Strong was dead.
I knew the hand was dead.
You couldn't have known the hand was dead.
Sure, he got locked in. They cut see the people that cut the tongues off. They're the ones that lit the fire.
No, the guy on the outside was the one getting burned, and he was trying to get out to help him. Yes.
Yeah.
Aye.
And also, the fire went into his cabin. He couldn't get the door open, and he died as well.
He was trying to get the door open to help his son. The fire was from the outside.
Yeah, but it got inside and killed him.
But if he opened the door, he'd have died. So you're trying to suggest, he didn't get the door open, so he died. If he got the door open, he would have died. The fire was coming from the outside.
They're both dead, aren't they? Inside, outside. I'm going to give this a 2 out of 10.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I thought it was. I thought it was actually horrible. I go as far as saying horrible.
Worst episode so far?
Easily.
Yeah, I'll get a 3, 2.5 out of 10. Very, very low rating. Can it improve? I don't know. Wasn't a very good episode.
All I would say is, maybe this will free the door up for Otto Hightower to come back. That's the only positive out of these two dying.
Yeah, I know, but even then, it's like, alright, Rhaenyra's...
No, but...
That's that story kind of done.
I can't wait. I said about that Corlys thing, right? Say when he gets pissed off about this guy having sons with Rhaenyra and his son doesn't have hee-haw. You've just killed 2 members of the strong family.
Yeah, so there's any sort of
conflict.
Yeah, done.
Viserys can't banish his hand. The guy who actually had the kids.
What's Viserys going to do? Punish his own daughter? Sentence of the death or something?
No, it's ridiculous.
Anyway,
man.
that's it, guys. 2.5 out of 10. We'll catch you in the next one. Until then, peace. The show started off strong, but lately, never mind the riff mark, I think it has left a bit of a skid mark on its underpants. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. We're here to review House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 7, I believe. This one is called Drift Mark. I said this show started off strong. I mean, has it really started off strong? It started off okay. It started off like an average, mediocre episode of Game of Thrones, but unfortunately it's just kind of went downhill from there. I mean, there's a couple of characters that are okay, there's a couple of scenes that I think are okay, and I think this was actually definitely one of the better episodes, but yeah, just the lead up to it, the last few really haven't been good, but I think maybe we're back on track. I think this was an episode heading in the right direction.
Yes, the house is going in the right direction, the dragons are flying in the right direction. Let's talk about it again. Nothing great to write home about, but it's better than what it has been. That's what you can ask for.
It has been. So we need to say goodbye to a few people. Lena is one of them. So we've got Lena's funeral, but we're also saying goodbye to Strong, Lionel Strong, I believe, and Harwin Strong, the Hand of the King. They both died in that fire. So yeah, it looks like Alicent arranged that fire, so they both died in that. And then obviously Lena died in a fire as well, but hers was more like suicide because she asked her dragon to basically let her go. It was kind of like, release me, and it did that. So look, we get the funeral. Everybody and anybody who's important was at this funeral. Is what it is, just a funeral for Lena. And while Lena is being put to rest, we see Daemon. He sneaks off with Rhaenyra and they have sex. So
he
again,
was also smirking during the funeral, right? It's what I fucking hate this guy.
I mean, it's one thing if he doesn't like his wife, but I mean, he's got kids with her, for God's sake.
And then Corlys just sits there and fucking laps it up. No, who is this guy supposed to... Are we supposed to hate him? I actually get the feeling you're supposed to like him. Like, oh, he's the rebellious Rhaenyra. I hate him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a bit weird that he's got kids with Lena, yet he hasn't shed a tear. And I get it, look, this was an arranged marriage, but you would think all those years together, you would at least grow a wee bit fond of them, or you would, you know, be sympathising the fact that your own children have lost their mother, but Daemon doesn't really seem to care. So yeah, he goes off and he sleeps with Rhaenyra, and it looks like they're going to be the power couple. They're going to be the Targaryens in charge. King Viserys tries to speak with Daemon, but Daemon doesn't want to know him after getting exiled for a second time. Does he blame King Viserys though for exiling him? I think Daemon brought all that stuff on his own.
How pathetic's that though, right? Viserys is a guy that's, excommunicated him twice, and it's him actually going to Daemon. Twice, rather than Daemon going to him. Viserys is the weakest king I've ever seen. The crown, he must have won it out of a bowl of Frosties.
I think so. Aemond then goes and gets Fygar, the dragon that used to belong to Laena. He manages to take the dragon, he mounts the dragon, and then he flies with the dragon. This kind of just reminded me of like Harry Potter stuff here, as if they were playing that game. Was it Quidditch or something? It's just, I don't know.
Where'd you get that one from?
I don't know, but like that, hanging on to a dragon, and the dragon's flying at like top speed in the air, and you're not strapped in, and you're hanging on with your arms extended, and you've got like the wrath of the wind hitting against you, the turbulence, and you're up in the sky, and like you're a kid, you're not that strong, and you're just hanging on with both. I don't buy that.
No, I don't buy it. It's unrealistic.
I think to fly a dragon, and you see the dragons do like 180s, 360s, tilt, and you would think you'd need to be strapped in, surely, to ride one of these
or
things.
Have the strength of like the mountain.
Not
this Diddy kid.
None of these people seem to have any, but yeah, it looks like Aemon then has managed to win himself a dragon. He comes back. We have Laena's kids who are called Baela and Rhaena. They are with Jace and Luke, who are Rhaenyra's kids. Just so many jobber kids in here. And
no, but the worst thing about it is you're just getting like each episode passes and it's like, oh, here's 10 more kids to worry about, and then the next episode they're like 25.
Yeah, the 4 kids confront. They confront Aemond. They're not happy that he just stole their mother's dragon, but
I actually thought this fight scene here was probably one of the better scenes of the show.
Yeah, but he claims that it's not their mother's dragon anymore because their mother is dead. And that Jace and Luke are just bastards anyway, so what are they going to do? Then the kids try and beat up Aemond, and I mean, really, they're a lot smaller than him. One of the kids is supposed to be like roughly the same age. I believe it's Jace, one of Rhaenyra's kids, but there's a massive height difference, and I really can't stand Rhaenyra's kids. They just look like 2 fucking little fairy goofballs that if they like hurt their little finger or something, they'd burst into tears.
Yeah, I get that 5-2. Again, I thought it was a decent...
Snot-nosed brats, I would call them.
Yeah, I thought this was actually a decent scene, though. I mean, 4-on-1. But I actually thought...
No, but
I would say hands down the best scene of the show, actually.
Yeah, but... Yeah, no, definitely. So,
definitely. You don't have to agree with me.
No, Aemon's winning the fight, and he's got... They pull a knife on him, and he gets the knife away from them and all this stuff, and... one of the kids picks up a rock, it hits him with a rock, the other one then sprays like dirt into his eyes, throws dirt into his eyes, and slashes him with a knife, and Aemond loses an eye. So, I mean, he was winning this fight 100%, could have probably killed them all if he wanted to, but then he gets his eye slashed, he loses an eye. But let's just go back to the whole Jason Luke thing. Just look at these kids, right? And it's almost like they want them to look pathetic and wimpish. I don't know what it is, but if you compare these two to, let's say, Rickon and Bran in Game of Thrones, Rickon and Bran just look more... I'm not saying they look manly because they're kids, but they look like they're not missing crow. I mean, like, Bran looks like the kind of guy that...
He's missing fucking legs.
But we've seen Theon came in and Bran was like, I will not yield. And he's just laying there. He can't do fuck all. See if Theon walked into Jace and Luke and says, you will yield, Winterfell. I think those two would have bust out crying and pissed their pants.
Yep, probably.
Whereas you had Bran wanting to fight even though he can't move. He's a cripple.
He's a cripple.
No, but am I the only one seeing this, or did Jason look extremely... Look, there, pun intended. Look extremely pathetic?
I think they do look extremely pathetic, but I think that's to try and make Rhaenyra look a wee bit weaker because she's the main character. It's more of an uphill struggle.
Oh, you've got inferior...
Aye, but you're going up against the Viserys, his wife. I can't remember her name.
Alicent. She's got superior children or whatever.
Yeah, but she's got... Yeah, but she's a lesser character.
But you look at her 2 kids and they look like Although I do think the older one looks a little bit, I know, a little bit wimpy, but they do look like Targaryens.
No, they
Who
do.
the fuck did Jason look like? And I know they're bastards.
They look like that guy burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, so then we get the big meeting, and the King Viserys here, like, I don't get this. His son has just lost an eye, yet he's more outraged over the fact that his son called Jason Luke bastards, despite, I'm assuming Viserys at this point must know the truth.
Everyone must know
I know
the truth.
Otto Hightower.
Corlys knows, his wife knows, the cousin of Viserys knows.
No, but it's like nobody knew, and then they're asking, what's his name, Aemond, like, how did you know this? Like, and then he's looking at his mother, he's looking at Alicent, but then he turns away and he blames it on his big brother. I guess he did this because he knew that the king wouldn't punish his other son, I guess, rather than his mom. But this is just dumb, because then when the older brother, what's Aemon's brother called, the older one?
I don't recall his name, but he's right. What he says is, just look at them. And that's it.
Yeah, he says, just look at them. And it's like, you know, what the hell? He says, just look at them. Then everyone looks at them. Is it Aegon? Yeah, Aegon. So you got Aemond and Aegon. Aegon then says to Viserys, we know, father. Everyone knows. It's obvious. Just look at them. And then everyone looks at them, and it's like they're just finding out at this moment, oh wait, Aegon's onto something. I mean, how could you only notice this at this point?
And it's not even like, oh, they've been too scared of the king to not notice or Corlys. It's not been portrayed that way.
But then Viserys doubles down, and he's like, anyone who brings up the illegitimacy of Rhaenyra's sons will lose their tongue, despite them being bastards. And that's it. He just wants it to be over. His son's lost an eye. His son just didn't tell no lies. Said that, they're bastards. Viserys doesn't care about that, though. He's more concerned about people speaking the truth than he is his son losing an eye. Alicent then, I guess, steps up and steals Viserys' knife because he isn't willing to do anything. She claims she wants an eye for an eye. I mean, this kind of reminded me of the scene where we've got Cersei. She wants Robert to punish Ned, and then he doesn't. And then she says, maybe I should wear the throne and you the gown. And then he punches her and he says, wear that in silence or I'll honour you again. It kind of reminded me of that, but only
shit.
Probably not as good.
Yeah.
But Alicent wanted Viserys to do something, and Viserys wouldn't do anything, so she took the dagger and she goes after the kids, and obviously Rhaenyra tries to stop her, and Rhaenyra gets her wrist slit instead. Alicent also wanted Christian Cole to take the eye. Now, I think Christian Cole, I'm not sure what the right title is, but I believe he is like the, let's just say, for example, bodyguard of Alicent, but we seen when he went to do anything,
Queen's Guard, is it?
Queen's Guard or whatever. When he tried to do this, Daemon stepped in and stopped him. So I don't know. It looked like Christian Cole was pretty outnumbered here.
Yeah, but like, how weird's that? It's like Viserys is just
the
so
King's
fucking...
Guard was stopping him as well. It was like everybody here that is in armor was basically against Christian Cole.
But see, note know why this is. This is because Viserys is so fucking weak. If he set, the ground rule, no one would step to him. The guy can barely walk. He's pish. I don't know what the correct course of action is here, because at the end of the day, he lost an eye. But as Aemon says, here, but I got a dragon, it's alright, mother.
And he said that he thinks that's a fair trade, an eye for a dragon, and you know what, he might be right.
No, he might be right, but why doesn't Viserys say that? Why does it take his son to say that? Why doesn't Viserys... See the whole, I'll cut your tongues out if you mention the illegitimacy of my grandchildren or whatever? Why doesn't he say, if anybody mentions about killing one another's kids, then I'll cut your tongues out? It's pathetic, man. The guy's so fucking weak. And then what age is he supposed to be?
Not too sure.
How is Daemon 4 years fucking younger than they get? What, 4 decades?
Then Lenore says that he has been a terrible husband. He's let Rhaenyra down. Rhaenyra says that everyone is questioning the legitimacy of their children, and he feels upset about that. I mean, he knows he's not the father, so even Alicent said it in the last episode, maybe if you keep trying, you'll get one that looks like you. I mean, it's quite obvious that these are not his kids. but he says that he is going to try and strengthen their claim. He's going to try and be the husband that she deserves, but she doesn't want him as a husband, so Rhaenyra and Daemon get married. I don't know if there was another time skip here. There might have been, but they say they could only marry if Laenor was dead. We then see them pay Laenor's lover. They give him money. They talk about a place where you can go, and it doesn't matter if you're gay. Basically, that's what they're saying. There's a place you can go and be free as long as you've got gold.
How gay is that?
And they give him gold. Then we see Laenor's lover, Carl Corey. He goes into Laenor's room at night, attacks Laenor. Laenor then fights back, and by the time Laenor's guards get there, we see a body that is like shoved in the fire pit or whatever, so it's burnt. Corlys and his wife arrive, and they've realised that they've just lost another son. They want to know how this could happen. How could we lose him? Where was the guards? And that was it. So we have Laenor seemingly dead. Corlys has lost both children now. He's a bit upset about that. Rhaenyra and Daemon get married. I mean, how does Viserys feel about this? I mean, I don't know. It's just fucking weird having your brother marry your daughter. I don't care if it's a Targaryen specialty. It's just it's fucking not right. Like, well, with Targaryens, it seems to be more brother and sister.
Not uncle niece.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's a bit strange.
Uncle nonce, more like.
And then, late in the night, we see a cloaked figure running towards the beach on Driftmark, where Carl Quarry is waiting for him in a rowboat, and it's Laenor Valerian. He has shaved his head, so he won't be recognised for having his Valerian silver hair. And that's it. It looks like... I don't know if Daemon and Carl helped Laenor fake his death, or whether Daemon actually wanted Laenor dead, and then Carl faked out the Laenor death. I'm not quite sure.
I think Carl has actually double-crossed Daemon and Rhaenyra. That's what it came across to me. But, you know, Corlys is pointing at the fact, how the fuck did this happen in my own hall?
Yeah.
It's like the guy just challenged him.
Good question. And then that's it, really. We see Laenor and Carl. We see them just going off to Driftmark, where they can live a happy life and be gay and be free, because the only thing that you need, apparently, in Driftmark is gold.
It just feels incredibly woke.
Ah, the two gay guys.
Get to be gay in this wee island where there's gay and gold. It's like, no, you look at Game of Thrones and how they handled Renly.
The LGBT community.
It wasn't woke, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you know what? Renly was gay, but he didn't come across as woke. He didn't come across as, like, super homosexual. I actually liked the Renly character. I thought he was good for the short period of time where he lasted.
No, I agree, but here, will we agree on the episode rating? Because I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
So, you know, I agree with that. You know what? I think it's the best episode we've seen so far. It probably rivals the premiere. I thought the fight scene with the kids was good after Aemon stole the dragon. And then I think the scene after that, where we have Viserys questioning him and then Alicent wanting more, an eye for an eye. I thought that was another really good scene as well. So definitely an improvement. Am I going to give it a 7 though? Probably not. I think I'll give it a 6. But here, 6.5 out of 10.
What I would say is,
still a good rating.
I think the episodes are too long. I think some of the scenes are just dragged out, like the dragon riding scene. I think the kids scene was good length, but I even think the court scene was far too long.
It picked up, but I thought the beginning was pretty poor. I mean, it was like 20 minutes for that funeral. Just people standing around.
Daemon laughing. Brilliant.
You know, I don't know if we really needed that. But anyway, there you go, guys. 6.5 out of 10. Definitely one of the best episodes. I think the only one that comes close to it is probably the premiere. And, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's going to pick up and maybe we can finish strong with episode 8, 9, and 10. We'll catch you in those ones. Till then, though, peace.
This episode is called The Lord of the Tides, and by the end of it, the tides had certainly turned. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. It's House of the Dragon. We're not far from the end of Season 1. I think, as we're getting to the business end, business is picking up.
Business is picking up. 6-year time skip, though, is not good for King Viserys. He didn't look great the last time we seen him. 6 years further on, he looks even worse. And by the end of this episode, King Viserys may finally breathe his final last breath. And it won't be a fiery dragon breath, it'll be a death breath, I guess.
Probably
because
in dire need of Listerine, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, as for Viserys, right? I mean, it's kind of like a memorial to him this episode for us. Obviously, in the episode, he dies right at the end. Spoiler alert. But it's like this guy looked fucked from the get go. I'm shocked he lasted this long, which is incredible, by the way.
it was. So we start at the high tide. 6 years have passed since the funeral of Laena Valerian. Corlys is believed to be dead. He has been fighting on the stepstones for that amount of time, and he was wounded, apparently.
He fell off his boat, never to be seen again. He
Yeah.
could be alive, he might not be alive.
But he is presumed dead, and that means they need to crown whatever his title was, the Driftmark. They need to install someone.
The new leader of the Driftmark.
Yeah, the new leader in the Driftmark. Now, obviously, Rhaenyra believes that her kids should be in that role because she was married to him. She's got the kids, but as we all know, her kids are bastards. They're not really Valerians. And then we see Sir Faemund Valerian come in, a new character, I believe, introduced for this episode. He claims that he should be titled with Driftmark because he is Corlys' brother. He has got true Valerian blood in him, and that he plans to contest this. He plans to try and change King Viserys' mind. So they travel to Dragonstone, but they don't have to change King Viserys' mind because he's not sitting in the chair. In fact, he's been laying in bed for a very long time at this point.
Yeah, he's been lying in bed, absolutely bedridden. I believe Corlys' brother was... We've seen him previously, but again, he is the rightful heir, man. Look at him. Look at him, for God's sake. He looks like Corlys. The
Just look at him.
The bastards are whiter than milk. No, and you've got this whole episode's just centered around right, who's going to get it. Viserys even gets out of his fucking bed just to declare that, you know what, it should actually go to my daughters, my grandchildren.
Yeah, so we've got the Hand of the King. He is basically doing all the duties, the Queen as well. They are pretty much at this point speaking for the King. Sir Faemund Valerian believes that he is going to probably be awarded Driftmark because of the fact that the Queen and Rhaenyra don't really get along. He puts his point across that he has fought with his brother. He has defended Driftmark since he was young, and that he is the rightful heir since he is true Valerian blood. And he's making a good case to Otto Hightower, but he needs to make it again, because in comes King Viserys. Earlier, Rhaenyra and Daemon arrived, and they showed King Viserys their kid, so that means he's now a grandfather. It's a bit fucking weird looking at your daughter and your brother's child, because on one hand it makes you an uncle, but on the other hand it makes you a grandfather. Like, what title is King Viserys going by?
I just find all this weird. No, really fucking weird. I get it. It's a Game of Thrones way, so to speak, right? But Viserys has beefed with Daemon this entire season, this show. And then it's like, here he is, like, here, look at me and your daughter created, big man. I'm the guy. I'm only 4 years younger than you, even though I look about 40 years younger than you. I don't know. Viserys' eyes hanging out. His arse is hanging out. Everything's hanging out.
Yeah, it's almost the fact that he married his daughter and had a kid that kind of squashed the internal beef. But Viserys is happy that Daemon is back. He exiled him a long time ago, and he's tried to bring him back, and now Daemon is back. But they want Driftmark, and it doesn't look like they're going to get it because Otto Hightower's listening to Sir Faemund. But then King Viserys walks in on his own. And this was a really good scene. You feel sorry for him. He's, I mean, not crawling, but he may as well be on the floor crawling as he slowly makes his way down the hall into the Crown's chair. And he doesn't want any help from any of his guards. He wants to do it himself. He's making the ascent up the steps, and then his crown falls off. He bends down. He tries to get the crown. Someone comes to help him. Again, he tells his guard, I don't need help. But it's not his guard, it's Daemon, his brother. And Daemon then helps him, puts the crown back on top of his head, and helps King Viserys rest onto the chair, where King Viserys hears out both Faemund, hears out his daughter, and he decides that he's going to give the Driftmark to Rhaenyra's eldest kid. And it's because Corley's wife also wanted this. She said this was Corley's wish, even though, I mean, technically, I guess it was, because Corley's did say that nobody remembers blood, they remember names. So therefore, he's happy enough for the kids to inherit Driftmark, even though it's not really his blood. But obviously, this doesn't please Sir Faemon Valerian. He's upset about this, rightfully so. He looks at them, he goes, "Don't you tell me what Valerian blood is. I could cut my arm and you still wouldn't recognise this blood." And then he says, "Those are no Valerians. Those kids are bastards." And this didn't go very well. Now, Daemon did warn him not to say it. King Viserys tried to get up, took out his blade, said, "I'm going to cut your tongue out for that." But before he could get to his tongue, Daemon comes up from behind him, swipes his head off, cuts his head off in half, and Daemon then coolly says he can keep his tongue.
I thought it was a very good scene. I liked it's like, they are bastards. I like that last stand. But what was Viserys realistically going to do? But it's like Daemon saying, "Oh, watch what you're saying, big man." It's like, not the reality of this show is. See Rhaenyra, she's a whore. She is.
She's a whore.
She's a skunk. No, she literally fucking is. Daemon is just a weird ass character, doesn't care. But you try to tell me an honourable man like Ned Stark would be with Rhaenyra? Not a fucking hope in hell. No, I mean, she's literally got kids. I mean, how many different people at this stage? Yeah, and I tell you,
well, just the two. But the two that she's got them with, the one that she's supposed to have with, she didn't have any with.
Yeah,
so.
and what I would say is, I think there's going to be a plot twist. I think Sir Christian, what's his name? Sir Christian Bell?
Christian Cole.
Sir Christian Cole. I think the oldest son might be his. Now, I don't know that for sure, but point is, she's slept around, she's firing out kids, like Viserys is fucking, firing out pish authority. Unlimited, but again, I don't know. I mean, how can anyone seriously, back her kids leading Driftmark? It should be someone that's black. I don't know if the show's trying to portray, the what do you call these guys?
Yeah, because she was with Christian Cole, and then she got married to Corley's son, and then she just went straight to that strong guy. So I mean, she's been passed around,
and she was sleeping with Daemon got up against the wall when she was 14, 15.
But see, I think this is the show just being woke, and they're trying to view Rhaenyra as a empowered woman.
Yep.
That sleeps with who she wants. Whereas if this happened in Game of Thrones, she would be labelled a whore.
Yeah, but yeah, it's earlier this season they were trying to be here, why can't I do what you do? You sleep around. But we're men,
Yeah, no, it just works when you've got King Robert fucking telling all these war stories and all the women that he's slept with. I mean, it just works with Rhaenyra bragging about it. It's not the same thing, you know what I mean?
No, it's not. But yeah, I mean, I liked this scene. It was quite dragged out in the sense, but again, it's just it is very woke. And are they trying to go down the route here that the Targaryens look a bit racist, but they don't really talk about race. I think they've been shafted out of Driftmark. That's my personal opinion.
The Valerians, I believe
the entire family has been screwed in every step.
And should Daemon not? Should he not be getting repercussions here for just killing Sir Faemon?
I know, he just kills this guy and that's it.
It's supposed to be a high-ranking guy. Doesn't make much sense to me.
Nope, nothing gets done, and that's pretty much
Is Corley, if I'm assuming Corley's alive, is he not going to try and avenge his brother?
His son's also alive, no one knows that. Just their whole house.
Corley's wife just stood there, that's her brother-in-law.
I know.
And I get it, right? Maybe you don't like your in-laws, but it's still... Fucking Tywin Lannister doesn't like his son, but he fucking wouldn't let anybody do anything to a Lannister.
No, that's for sure.
There would be repercussions if somebody did something to a Lannister.
But not in this show.
Valerians just get jobbed out every single episode, and I don't know. It's there's no payback or anything like that. We then get the dinner scene. I thought the dinner scene was pretty good. Basically, all the families were there. The Valerians were there. The Targaryens were there. So the High Towers were there. Pretty much everyone was there. All the kids were there, and I guess for the most part they just got along for King Viserys' sake.
Viserys cut a decent promo. His last promo, to be fair, pretty much
basically saying this is the last time I'm going to be with my family. I want to enjoy it, so let me enjoy it.
let me enjoy it, big man. And then he gets carted off, and then once he gets carted off, that is pretty much game over for everybody. This is when everyone can fight. You've got the Strongs getting bullied kind of by the
Targaryen children.
The Targaryen children. The guy with one eye is like, oh, I love my cousins, not my cousins, what are they to him?
Nieces, nephews.
No, it's a fucking shit show, by the way. Like, you've got nieces, nephews, uncles, and it's like, but they're all marrying each other.
Yeah, then he's like, I see you's turned it to be big, strong boys. At first, I never got it, but then I realised later on that it was obviously a dig at the fact that they are strong boys, literally, because they are bastards and their father is strong and not Valerian. So we have that, pretty much. The fight gets broken up. They tease a fight between Daemon and Aemond. I mean, I think I don't know, I think Aemon seems like a good fighter from what we've seen. He's been getting trained by Christian Cole. It's a lot more, if someone's going to fight on those two sides, it's more believable that Aemond fights Daemon, because we all know that Aemond would fucking destroy both of Rhaenyra's two kids. I mean, he destroyed them 4-on-1 when he was younger.
Yeah, no, the one-eyed man, Aemond, he has a look about him. He looks like he could be king. And he's the second oldest. His older brother looks like a tool, and it's the same for the Strong.
He's the second oldest. He's the younger brother, but he looks about 10 years older than his older brother, which is just kind of weird. And then we see King Viserys. He's laying in his bed, and he tells Alicent before she leaves that night that he wants his oldest son to inherit the throne. That's his wish. She leaves, happy, I guess, that he's changed his mind. But, I don't know, she should have got it in writing, because she leaves, and then he passes away. His final breaths. The last words that he spoke was him wanting his son to inherit the throne. Did he mean it? Did he know what he was saying? Was he on milk of the poppy? Was that confusing him? Like painkillers would? I don't know. Was he hallucinating? We don't know, but his dying wish essentially was he no longer wants Rhaenyra to inherit the throne, and he wants it to be his son. So that will be interesting going forward.
It will be interesting going forward. It's a good cliffhanger to end the episode on, with him pretty much taking his final breath. Will he make it? Probably not. But again, I think it was a good episode. There's woke tendencies in there, but I feel like we're building up towards something here as the season is coming towards a close. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's 0.5 higher than we rated the last episode. I think there's been some good House of the Dragon episodes, but there's also the bad's pretty bad.
No, I agree. Yeah. And
so we'll see what happens.
And we buried the introduction of all these kids, but I feel like they're beginning to get the handle on it. I feel like it's beginning to make a bit more sense structure-wise.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe with the time skips, they were always going to struggle. You know, you're basically trying to like skip about 20 years in the first season, and it almost kind of feels like some of the episodes feel like standalone episodes rather than, you know, continuous plot lines. It is hard to constantly skip multiple years every episode and like continue like rivalries and stories and continue on from what like how can you really follow the last episode when you've had like a 6-year time skip?
Yeah, but can you name me a TV show?
Yeah, but you look at season 1 of Game of Thrones. It's all pretty. Yeah, there'll be like 2-week time skip and stuff, but the story's the same. You know, the characters are the same.
No, absolutely. But can you tell me another TV show that's done this in the first season?
I haven't. It is risky, but you know what? I think they've done a decent job.
Is there any reason to write it like this? I mean, how long has this show got? Is it going to go 6 seasons, 5, 8? I don't think there's a need to.
I mean, I think the story though just has all the kids older, and therefore I do not believe going forward there'll be that many time skips.
If any, I would.
Yeah, I think going forward we might see some time skips, but I think they're all going to be like short ones. I don't think we're going to see big long ones. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, that's it. 7 out of 10. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, let us know your thoughts down below, and peace. Long live the king, but unfortunately that does not apply to King Viserys, as he has breathed his final breath. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment here for another House of the Dragon review. This time we're on the penultimate episode of Season 1. It is Episode 9. This one is titled The Green Council, and it was basically all about how the Targaryens are going to move forward with the death of King Viserys. Now, what do you mean the Targaryens? Rhaenyra is the rightful heir. Well, maybe not, because in episode 8, his last words, King Viserys said to the Queen that he wished his eldest son would take over. He would become the new king. He would be the heir to the throne. Now, of course, Alicent Hightower, the Queen, she doesn't have any proof of this. All she has is King Viserys' word. But I think that will be enough for the Hand. I think that will be more than enough for the Hand. And as we can see in this episode, he pretty much already had things in plan to make the Targaryens stay on top and prevent Rhaenyra from becoming queen.
The Hand put this shitstorm in motion. He did. He actually put it in motion, and you know what? Even if he didn't say it, he could have just fucking lied and said he said it, couldn't he?
Yeah, so we find out that King Viserys is dead. Obviously, Alicent's upset. She calls for a council meeting. All the council members are there. They're not really upset, but they're acting a bit. I guess they're being a little bit comedic, I guess, or they're trying to be humorous, saying, "Why? What have you done? What happened? What crazy stuff's going on? Are we being attacked? Are we being invaded? Why are you calling us to the council meeting at this time?" But the laughter soon finishes when we find out that King Viserys is dead.
Yep, I find it interesting that Jason Lannister weaseled his way onto the council. Seemed a bit like a Diddy man earlier this season, and now all of a sudden he's there. No idea really why.
Jason Lannister, he seems like the Littlefinger of this series, but a really shit version.
Yeah, like a really watered down, doesn't have the IQ, but has the, he has like the wind up merchant trait, but he doesn't have the IQ to make any place.
That's what I've noticed. You compare Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, people say a lot of these characters are similar, and like a lot of the characters, you get a pretty good comparisons. They've got good parallels to other characters from Game of Thrones. But everybody that I can see comparisons in between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, I much prefer the Game of Thrones character. And I think Jason Lannister and Littlefinger are two characters that definitely seem like they're on the same sort of wavelength. They seem like they are similar characters, both in the small council. Both seem to pretty much know everything. We know that Littlefinger's got a lot of money. We don't really know if Jason Lannister's got a lot of money. He doesn't seem to, but he seems to play a similar role. So they find out that King Viserys is dead. Alicent lets them know that King Viserys' final words were that he wishes his son to be the new heir, his eldest son Aegon. And pretty much everybody, bar the old guy, isn't really happy about this. I think is it Lyman? I think it's Lyman, so he's not happy about this. He's saying it's not fair, we can't be doing this. It's set in stone. Rhaenyra is the true heir, but the Hand isn't having it. He's like, no, we will install Aegon. He's going to be king. Pretty much simple as that.
Yeah, simple as that. They're going to install him. And again, I mean, considering they've pretty much got the full backing here, it's not like with Ned, where Ned was kind of going up against the Lannisters, who were all in play anyway. Ned was delusional. I think this backing of Aegon is going to go a lot more successful than Ned trying to like put himself in the seat temporarily till someone else can step in, till Joffrey's of age, so to speak. So I get what the Hand's going for, but do I see Rhaenyra and Daemon rocking in and trying to lay the smackdown here? I don't necessarily see that. I feel like the way House of the Dragons went is that it's going to be power plays rather than actual force.
Yes, but we find out that Otto pretty much was going to do this anyway.
Yeah, so how would that have worked? Say he didn't utter that. How would Alicent went along with this? Even though, yes, it's a win for her. She doesn't really like Rhaenyra. And
I guess all it would have, the way it would have went would be Otto would have just pretty much made up what King Viserys actually said. I guess Otto could have said to Alicent, look, pretend that King Viserys told you this. Or Otto himself could have said that he spoke to the king and the king's final wishes were for Aegon to be the new heir.
If the council is pretty much going along with this, apart from the old guy, why not just say...
But see, the council are...
Why not just say we were all there? Why not just say Jason Lannister was there?
But the council are supposed to be faithful to the crown, not the king. They should be faithful to the crown, not necessarily the person wearing it.
Yeah.
But everyone in here, apart from, I believe, Grandmaster Orwell, or whatever his name is not happy. He says he will not happen for it. He says it's treason! It's treason! And then suddenly Christian Cole slams Lyman's head into the back of the table, and unfortunately, because this guy is old, it appears that his skull is just cracked, and
it's squished on top of a ball.
Yeah, he starts bleeding. I guess he's dead. Christian Cole has killed him. Then Harold, who is I guess he's the leader. He's the main member of the Kingsguard, head of the Kingsguard. He pulls out his sword. He tells Cole to forfeit his white cloak, I guess trying to kick him out of the Kingsguard, but Cole says he doesn't take orders from the Kingsguard. He doesn't take orders from Harold. He only takes orders from the Queen. And it looks like we're going to get a fight between Harold and Christian Cole, but the Queen Alicent tells Cole to put down your sword, and he does that. Then we have Otto. Basically, he wants Harold to get groups of the Kingsguard. He wants him to assign a group of men, get a bunch of knights, go to Dragonstone, and assassinate Rhaenyra and her family, because Otto believes that things will just go more peacefully. There'll be no rebellion. If they could take out Rhaenyra, then nobody will doubt who should be the rightful heir, and it will go to Aegon anyway. But Harold doesn't want to do this. He's discussed it, and he resigns from the head of the Kingsguard position and storms out. I thought this was this is probably one of the best council meeting, maybe the best council meeting scene from the entire, and it's a bit strange considering King Viserys wasn't in it. But I just think because of what was at stake here and what was being revealed, I mean, if this wasn't the best scene from the council meetings, then
what are you doing?
What chance have you got?
Yeah, what chance have you got? It was. And I think what House of the Dragon is, I think they're beginning to build momentum. Characters are getting a wee bit more developed and all that good stuff. And, I mean, the King's death should result in the better episodes, in my opinion.
Yes, but unfortunately after this, I felt like the episode went downhill. So the hunt was on for Aegon. Aegon was missing. They wanted to both get him. Otto Hightower and Alicent both wanted to find Aegon. However, they both wanted to get to him first. So Otto sent Sir Eric and Arik Cargill, those set of brothers, to find Aegon and bring Aegon back to him. But Alicent asked Christian Cole to do the same and bring Aegon back to her. So, not exactly sure what they were going to say to Aegon respectively, but both Otto and Alicent seem to be playing against each other here. Christian Cole then brings Aemond along with him. I guess Aemond kind of knows where his brother is. Then we got, like, honestly, it was probably a 20-minute chase where the two sets of teams were trying to track down Aegon. Eventually they find Aegon. Aegon doesn't want to be king, says it's not for him, doesn't want to do it. He tries to run away, he gets caught.
I think there's a lot of like, oh, let's conceal your identity in House of the Dragon. I feel like in Game of Thrones they didn't do that. It's like they just fucking went and did it. The only person you really see doing that in Game of Thrones is like Arya.
Yeah, we got
like, see Ned, see when he was confronting like the Lannisters after Robert's death, was he wearing a beanie? Did he shave his beard off? Did he wear a skirt? No, he rocked up with his wee walking stick. And was like, this is how it's going to go.
Plus, Aemon's got an eye patch anyway. So, I mean, it's probably going to stand out, you know what I mean? Regardless of what he's wearing.
Definitely.
So, I mean, that didn't make much sense to me. But, yeah, so they find him. We also got... I'm not quite sure who this Mysaria person is, but she is like, I don't know what her title is, but she tells Otto that she wants the fighting of the children fighting rings to stop. I mean, can't she put an end to that? I don't really know, but...
They said they filed their teeth. Fucking... Can you imagine that?
Ugh.
Getting your teeth filed? Oh, that's fucking rank. That's bogging. And then even when they find each other and they get into a bit of a squabble, Sir Christian Cole and and the Eric guy, it's like they don't kill each other. It just feels fucking... It felt very funny.
Well, it looks like Christian Cole could have killed him, but he decided not to.
Yeah, but it felt funny.
Did feel phony. Then it was time for the coronation. Everyone in King's Landing got ready, and that was it, really.
Yeah, but then Corley's wife, Veneri's sister, she sneaks out, then sees like the coronation.
Now, someone helped her sneak out. Someone was helping her escape. I'm not quite sure who it was. Are we supposed to know who it was?
Was it the guy with the walking stick?
No, it was. I don't think it. Definitely wasn't him.
No, I have no idea. I have no idea who it is. But then she, he gets crowned, right? The guy's just not king material. Absolutely not. But the people of King's Landing are accepting him as king, which is probably what the council and Otto and co wanted. But then all of a sudden, a dragon flies in, kills like what? I'd probably say about 50 people, 100 people. Doesn't blow any fire or breathe any fire, and then like Alicent just steps in front of the king to protect him, and then she just flies off on her dragon. I don't like dragons, man. I know this is called House of the Dragon, and yeah, it'd be naive for me to think they're not going to use dragons, but it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels cheap. It's like, even if you're the best like sword fighter or whatever, or like a Jaime Lannister or a Ned Stark, it just feels like a dragon could come along and fucking wipe you out, and that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good you are, if a dragon comes up your toast. So Corley's wife escapes on her dragon, and the dragon kills quite a few people. This dragon here, could have wiped out everybody, really. This could have just handed the crown straight to Rhaenyra, but she decided to escape rather than taking down Alicent the Hand and the Targaryen sons. There was also a weird scene with Jason Lannister. Jason Lannister's the guy with the foot, isn't he? The crippled foot?
No, Jason Lannister's the guy at the end of the table.
Who's the guy with the foot?
I don't know who he is.
The walking stick guy?
He's just some guy at the council. Lord something. He's like Viserys. No, Ferries. Game of Thrones, that's what he reminds me of.
Yeah, so there was some weird scene where he goes with Alicent and he gives her information, tells her that she can't trust certain people that are within her circle. And then, Alicent gets her feet out and he starts masturbating over them. Well, not over them, but he's masturbating to them. And it's like, what the fuck was this?
Yeah,
it was like a very strange scene. Viserys has just died. She's the queen. Why is she lowering herself to this? Who is this one-legged, crippled foot guy to think that he can just come in and literally masturbate to the queen? It was very strange. I don't get it. I understand that he was offering information, and maybe this is the price
She's the queen, though.
That Alicent had to pay, but she's the queen, and fucking Viserys is still warm. Well, maybe not warm, but
I think he's been cold for about 2 decades.
But you get my point, right? He's just died, and I'm not saying it's the same as sleeping with her, but it's close enough.
It's just fucking weird.
It's close enough.
It's weird.
I thought it was a strange scene.
I thought it was a strange episode.
See, when I first seen it, I wasn't quite sure what was happening. But then, it became obvious, and then, she turns away, and you just see the guy start playing with himself, and, stroking his thing, and it's like, what the hell is actually going on here? So, I just don't think you'd get this in Game of Thrones. It seems like another weird sort of woke. Don't know what's woke about it, but,
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, he's like, oh, you can't trust people, and then 10 seconds later, he's doing this. Fucking weirdo.
So, it's almost like Rhaenyra's a whore, and Alicent in this moment's kind of become like a sex worker, isn't it? I guess this is this is pretty much like OnlyFans.
Aye.
Would you not agree?
Just fucking, yeah, to get a bit of information. Just weird.
Could you imagine Cersei, degrading herself doing this?
No.
Look at when Littlefinger says knowledge is power. And then she gets the guards to string him up, and she goes, no, power's power. And he's sitting shitting himself. See if, Littlefinger had information and Cersei needed it, do you think she'd whip her feet out for him?
No, probably not.
I didn't get that. And then, that was pretty much it.
But see, I know, I think the core base, right, of Game of Thrones fans and, House of the Dragon, I think they love this shit. They're fucking weird. They do. Call a spade, not your average viewer. I'm talking about the diehards. This is probably written in the fucking books that they made like 90 years ago.
Yeah, but anyway, Rhaenys withholds her dragon from killing everybody. Then she flies off to Dragonstone and she's going to inform Rhaenyra of what has happened. The final episode is called The Black Queen, so I think it's fair to assume that we're going to see Rhaenyra obviously fight against this this coronation here of Aegon as king. She's going to say, no, I'm the rightful heir to the throne. So, it sets up the finale. Can't deny that. But I do think that the best, I think the best of this episode definitely happened at the beginning when you had the small council meeting. I think that's when this episode peaked. Unfortunately, it did go downhill a bit then.
Yeah, I thought the ending, as you said, set up the finale. But yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Weird, but good in places.
Yeah, I think the second half of this show has improved. Someone says that once you get past the first 4 episodes, it's actually good. Now, I think we rated the 5th episode pretty damn poorly.
Yeah, so maybe they meant the first half, who knows?
But since I actually enjoyed the first episode.
No, I did.
I thought the first episode was good. And then it got a little bit worse. But it's picked up, so yeah, I'll give it a 6 as well. And who knows, maybe the finale will be the best of the bunch, but we'll see what happens. Whose team are you on? Are you for Aegon as king, or are you for Rhaenyra as queen? We'll put it up for a poll. You guys can decide. We'll see what happens in the next one. Until next. And also, should the guy with the foot be killed? Should he be sentenced to death or something like that? Because for me, this was just a very fucking weird scene.
Should he die?
Queen Alicent, she's like the highest, well, she's a queen, she's the highest ranking woman
right.
in Westeros, and this guy is fucking masturbating to her like she was some common whore. Just made no sense to me. But whatever, guys, that's it. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace. It's black versus green. It's Targaryen versus Targaryen in House of the Dragon. We went from incest with Targaryens sleeping with each other, and now we have Targaryens killing each other, all in the name of the crown to become king or queen of Westeros. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, here to review the finale, House of the Dragon. This one is obviously episode 10 of season 1. It is called The Black Queen. The penultimate episode was called The Green Council. Basically, this was the reply from the Black Queen. Last episode, we seen Aegon get crowned as king. This episode, we see Rhaenyra get crowned as queen. So, we have a queen, we have a king, but only one can rule.
Only one can rule. Did this episode rule? Did it follow the trend of HBO episodes of Game of Thrones universe? Yes, I think it was lackluster. It set up a second season. But bear in mind, this season came out 2 years ago. It's only beginning to come out season 2 now. This is a long-ass wait for the way this ended, in my opinion. For me, this screamed more of a penultimate episode with the cliffhanger at the end. I don't think a season can realistically end with one character telling one character with, slow motion playing. She turns around, vengeance in her eyes, and that's it. We fade to black, really? That's an episode 9 for me, not an episode 10. But I think this show has actually had a gimmick of where the penultimate episodes, and, this series, and franchise, it likes a wee, here, episode 9 will give you the real McCoy, but see episode 10, wee bit bland, wee bit of a stale McCoy, so to speak, ready salted, not much flavour, but yeah, let's talk about it, let's begin the episode, shall we?
But now it's time to find out if this episode delivered or did once again Game of Thrones / House of the Dragon give us a disappointing finale. So we begin with a pregnant Rhaenyra. She's speaking with her son, Lucerys Valerian. She's talking about him now becoming the head, the lordship of Driftmark, but he doesn't want it. He doesn't think he is good enough, and he believes that it should have went to Famed Valerian, but it's not going to go to him because we know Damien sliced his head off. But it always feels like Rhaenyra is either pregnant in this series, or she's sleeping with other men, or she's like promoting feminism that didn't exist back in this time period. It's like she's always doing one of those three things.
No, she absolutely is, and I feel like it's forced. Again, I mean, let's just wrap it up this bit. Our son doesn't want it. He voices for this guy who just got his head cut off last episode. It's like, where was he acting Billy Big Balls in that court scene?
Yeah, why didn't he just turn around in the court scenes in case to say, you know what? Feynman's got a point.
Feynman's got a point, I'm strong. And then also, talking about her being pregnant, what's this scene where her actually giving birth? Oh, I don't need any help. It's like a fucking skit. And just like shites the baby out, covered in blood.
And it dies.
And then I went, oh, look, empowerment.
No,
she refused help. No, I think it's a case of...
Did she not trust anybody in case...
No, I think it's a case of, here, this baby needs to die, and I'm going to force it out of me so I can be not pregnant for this war. That's what it struck me as. It's like, I need to be able-bodied for this war that's coming up.
Yeah, it just seemed... I don't know, it seemed...
like, their kid dies, and Damon just fucking doesn't even care. He's just doing weird shit.
Well, hold on, he's already got a bunch of kids. He doesn't care about... what's one more?
He's probably killed half his family as well, but I don't like any fucker in this show, green or black or shite or jobby. I can't pick a side.
So you're neutral. You ain't picking.
I prefer.
I'm leaning towards green.
I prefer green. Well, context. I prefer the high tars, right? But again, I can't say they're fucking likable. It's like by the power of deduction, I just don't like these inbred bastards.
All right, but
Otto's
treated like a heel. He's almost like viewed upon as he's like this really bad guy who's manipulated this and selfish guy. Daemon just seems to want to kill him. What has Otto Hightower actually done apart from be a loyal servant to Viserys? And he's actually trying now to put in place the king's dying word, and that is his son Aegon being the heir to the throne. Like,
Daemon is a bloodthirsty, incestuous, hippie, weird-looking freak show bastard, right? That is, I could use a million other words in there, but I'll never like him.
Yeah, no, same. But for me, I actually think the green side's more honourable.
They are more honourable,
and I think they've got the rightful claim because, look, whether it being right or not, whether he meant it or not, King Viserys with his dying words literally wanted Aegon to be the new king.
I can see similarities, right, between the role of Jaime Lannister and Daemon. But I think you can like Jaime Lannister. He's like cunning and he's got a bit of charisma around it. He's not fucking weird. Yes, him and Cersei are incestuous.
That's a bit weird.
No, that is weird, but I don't like Daemon.
My problem with this is I think the 10th best character in Game of Thrones is way better than the best character in House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Now you can decide for yourself who's the best 10th character in Game of Thrones and who's the best character in House of the Dragon. But for me, there's just so many. If you had to combine both shows, just season 1 alone, if you had to do a top 20 character list, you'd be struggling to put anybody for House of the Dragon at maybe like 1 or 2 at a push, I think.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. And I think that's a problem with the show. It shouldn't be that, but again, it's like, there's no likeable characters. There's no characters. I think the character that I'm beginning to like the most is Viserys' second-born son. What's his name? Aemond? Aemond. He looks the part. I don't mind Sir Christian Cole, but I can't sit here and say they're great characters. They're alright. But I don't know, but yeah.
Well, they're both on the green side, so is that why you're not leaning towards the green?
I might be leaning more towards green, but it's more because of your dislike of the other. I don't like the greens, but I hate the other side, so maybe I am a green.
You don't like the green party?
Aye.
Anyway, right, so Rhaenyra, she gives birth, it's dead, whatever. Her and Daemon and her council, they name her the queen.
Viserys is dead.
Yeah,
revealed by Corlys' wife, by the way. Corlys is alive.
So Rhaenys comes in and she just blurts out, Viserys is dead. I mean, Daemon and Rhaenyra, they don't take it great, but at the same time, like, they don't really grieve. They just sort of focus on their next plot. I mean, Ned Stark, I think showed genuine upset at King Robert dying.
Emotion.
You didn't really see this here, and also I think if you look at the Greens, I think they showed more emotion with Viserys dying than
Absolutely.
than Rhaenyra or any of her family.
No, they did.
Now, Damon said a lot of bad things here about Alicent. He called her a whore, which I don't see how that can be true when she's been, well, she's been more loyal, I guess, than Rhaenyra's been.
Let's say Alicent.
And he also thinks she conspired to kill Viserys. There's no proof of that. I mean, Viserys hasn't been in bad shape. You could argue that if she really wanted to kill Viserys, he'd have died a long time ago. She's been with him and nursing him over the past 6 years when he'd been in really bad health. Where's his brother Daemon been? Where's his daughter Rhaenyra been? They've not been there. So for him to have this warped view of Alicent at the Queen, I think's wrong.
How can he call her a whore? Even if she is a whore, it's like your wife's a whore, and your other wife was a whore, and your other wife was a whore. Mate, you're a mess.
Albeit, I did kind of criticise Alicent in the last episode because she got her feet out for that weird guy, but that's not as bad as Rhaenyra sleeping around with pretty much everybody.
And your uncle as well. Fucking bogging. Right.
So yeah, we have that. Corlys is back from the dead. He gets told that his brother has been killed by Daemon. Corlys then, he tells his wife Rhaenys that they're not going to take a side, that they're just going to go back to Driftmark and live out the rest of their days with their grandchildren. But I guess because their grandchildren are tied to Rhaenyra, maybe that's not an option. So Corlys then says to Rhaenyra that they have the sea. They are the Valerians are with her. They support her claim to the throne. So Corlys, I don't think really wants to side with Rhaena, but I guess he kind of has to.
I think he fucking bottled it, man. His brother got killed.
He did ask where Daemon was. I don't know if he was going to call Daemon out or not, but
call him out. You just cut your brother's fucking head off, son. Wake up and smell the coffee.
I also think that was very dishonourable. Why didn't Daemon at least say, right, I want to challenge you to a duel or something like that?
He can keep his tongue. Shove it up your arse, Matt Smith, you fucking cretin.
Yeah, so we have that. What else do we have? So they talk about dragons. Daemon says that, look, who needs an army? We out-dragon them 11-4 or something like that.
Yeah, 11-4 in the dragon.
I mean, who cares if you've got a lot of dragons? It's all about who's got the big dragons.
Aye, and it looks like, yeah, the real dragons are belonging to Team Green, but I don't like this dragon talk. I get it, House of the Dragon.
But see, in Game of Thrones, you knew that the dragons were, it was going to take years and years for them to grow and even become a factor.
Yeah.
In House of the Dragon, it's like, where's the strategy? Where's the battling? Does it really matter if you have the best fighter in Westeros? Because a fucking dragon will just set them on fire.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is like, Stannis has got 100,000 men, but Renly's got 10 million men.
It's all about tactics and stuff, but seeing House of the Dragon, it literally seems like you don't need tactics, you don't need other houses to be on your side. All you need is to have more dragons than the other group.
Yeah.
Now, Rhaenyra says she doesn't want to win the crown or keep the crown by using dragons, because then she would have to rule over ashes and stuff like that, and she wants a kingdom to rule, not ashes. And I mean, that kind of makes sense, because I think if you are going to win by dragons, then there wouldn't be much left.
No, absolutely. So I get her point here, but
dragons feels like a last resort.
It does, but I mean, Daemon also voiced a bit of displeasure at her auntie, because you didn't kill them all. You had the chance to kill them all.
Yeah, but then again, you can't just go around killing people, can you?
Well, Daemon would. Daemon's just a weirdo, man.
But that's his fucking nephews, and he's still related to them.
I know.
Technically, I mean, that's... And that would be... That's Rhaenyra's two half-brothers.
I know.
That he says you should have just killed.
It's utterly bizarre.
Do you think... I mean, that's his brother's sons.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, at least you've got Queen Alicent, or maybe we'll just call her Alicent now, because she's no longer queen, I guess. You've got Alicent, who, doesn't want any harm, right? Doesn't want anyone to die. And it seems like Rhaenyra is also trying to go down that route, but Daemon's like, nah, we just kill them all. I mean, really? It doesn't really work that way.
So if he really cared about his brother, would he wipe out his entire family?
Like, I'm sure Ned. I mean, Ned could have just took it Cersei and her children, but he didn't want anyone to die. But it seems like Daemon just doesn't give a fuck.
Daemon doesn't give a fuck anyway. I mean, they're going to send ravens, but then the sons are like, no, we can go, mummy. So she's like, all right, you go to Lord Barros, you go to Stark, you go to Baratheon. He then goes to Lord Barros, and who's he meet? He meets Aemon.
Now, I don't know if this was our first time seeing Lord Barros, but I actually thought he's a decent character.
Yep. He kind of looked like Ned and Robert combined,
I
didn't
thought that. He did look a wee bit Baratheon-like, so fair play there. Daemon, though, has already got there first on his big dragon, and he has offered Barros some terms that he will marry one of his daughters, whereas when Luke gets there, it's almost like he's not really giving the king anything. There's no bonuses really, there's no real terms. It's basically just it's Rhaenyra just basically assuming this guy is going to pledge allegiance, and there's nothing to sweeten the pie really.
Assumption is the mother of all fuckers.
So Barros has pretty much been like, here, you come here, you don't even have anything to offer me. He's like, well, that's it, go tell your mum that it's a no for me. And then Daemon wants an eye, throws him his dagger, says, I won't kill you as long as you give me that eye that you owe me. Daemon seems hell-bent on getting that eye back. I mean, earlier when it first happened, he seemed kind of content, the fact that he thought it was a fair trade, an eye for a dragon. But now when he's older, it's almost like he takes that back and he's like, no, I still want an eye.
I mean, Aemon looks the part, man, but these strong boys don't. I mean, I know you could argue they're still children or whatever, but how much of the age gap is there really between them?
Well, I think it's only supposed to be a couple of years, but it looks a lot older than that.
I wonder, as this show goes on, are they going to replace these strong boys and other actors? Because, I don't know, like, are they ever going to grow up and looking like fucking men? That's a problem for me going forward, like.
Yeah, so we see Luce then, or what's his name? Luce, is it?
Luce? What, the dragon?
Lucerys? No, the kid.
Jace? No, Jace is the older one. Or is Jace...
Luke, I think it's Luke. Yeah, so Luke's the second born one. He's then flying back with his dragon, and he starts getting chased by Aemon. Aemon's on his big massive dragon. Luke manages to evade him, goes low, goes through some like mountains almost. I don't know, the big dragon can't fit. Then he thinks he's safe. The big dragon again comes at them. Luke's dragon then fireballs the big dragon. Aemon then loses control of his dragon. I guess this pisses his dragon off, and he's telling his dragon, no, command me, but the big dragon doesn't give a shit, and at this point it just flies around, and when Luke thinks he's escaped, the big dragon, Aemon's dragon, just comes and literally bites fucking Luke's dragon in half. I don't know if Luke got ate or if he fell off his dragon, but Luke's done, Luke's dragon's done, and Aemon's thinking, shit, what have I done here? I think he wanted to scare him, I don't think he wanted to kill him. And it kind of had a look as...
I think it just backs up our points. Like, you can't really control these dragons, really.
Yeah, it's a bit far-fetched, like some wee guy flying on a dragon. You can... It's not like a dog, and even a dog, I guess, could disobey you at times. This is a fucking massive dragon, like, and you think you can just go play fighting?
Yeah. What I would say is, we're pretty sure he's dead, but how would a body ever be found? I mean, I have no idea where they were flying. I don't know the map, alright? See, it isn't GTA, I can't just pause it and look. But would it ever be found? Especially if it fell into the sea? Or would they just assume that he's dead because he was beefing with him with Lord Barros?
I mean, Aemon, I guess, could confess.
He could have confessed.
He kind of seems like the kind of guy who would actually want to brag about that.
He does seem a bit honourable.
Yeah, he does. He'd probably admit what he'd done. We also had the Green's terms where Otto Hightower comes to speak with Rhaenyra. Daemon almost wants to kill him on sight. Rhaenyra arrives on her dragon. Otto says that King Aegon is willing to allow there to be peace, and that Rhaenyra can have Driftmark, and that she can have all these titles, and that her sons can have a place on the council team, and the next son can be cupbearer and all this. But
I can definitely see the way this show's going. I think the king will die.
Daemon says that he would rather feed his own son to his dragon than let his son be a cupbearer to that cunt of a king.
Yep. You know what? He is a cunt. I don't really like the King, but Damon saying this right in front of Otto and the... It was a ballsy move for Otto here. They could have just killed them.
It was. Rhaenyra then takes the... She takes the badge off his cloak, calls him a fucking traitor, and he says he's no more hand than Aegon is king. I'm not quite sure who Otto betrayed. I haven't really seen it. Who's Otto? I mean, unless she means Otto betrayed her.
That's the only
But
betrayal.
see, Rhaenyra could possibly think they're making this shit up, but King Viserys did actually want Aegon to be king here, so...
I guess Otto was planning for it all along, though.
Yeah, maybe
But she doesn't know that.
Otto was planning to be a traitor, but in the end he didn't really have to betray anybody, because
He didn't.
the path he wanted to go down, actually, that shitstorm got put in motion. So, then it looks like Daemon's going to kill Otto,
Liam O'Neill flying about on a dragon.
but Rhaenyra then basically puts it off, and at the end of the episode, obviously word must have got back about Luke. You're saying they'll not find him, but it looks like they found him, because
Yeah.
Rhaenyra...
It could just be that he's missing.
Yeah, it could be, but we see Daemon tell Rhaenyra something, then Rhaenyra turns around and the screen just fades to black, unfortunately, so I thought it was a bit poor.
I thought it was very lackluster. I'm not a fan of screens fading to black, but
I tell you what, though, I mean, it might have been better than the finale of Game of Thrones 1, Season 1.
I think it was.
Season
I
2,
believe
actually.
we gave them both 5s, didn't we? Something
I'll
like
give
that.
this a 6. I mean, I thought the death, I wasn't expecting death.
I kind of was expecting it, because I was like, nothing's fucking happened in this episode. He's bound to die, and he did.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
I'll give you a 6 out of 10 as well. I'll agree with that.
Anyway, guys, there you go. I mean, it wasn't bad by any means, but I just felt like the second half of this season was picking up, and you were maybe getting excited, thinking that they were really going to give you a great finale, and it just didn't happen. But, you know, I guess not every show gives you great finales.
No.
And sometimes you go into a finale just automatically expecting it to be great. Can't always be the case. You're expecting something a lot better than you've got previously. Sometimes you don't get it. This was decent, and we'll give it a 6 out of 10. There you go, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Catch you in the next one. Till then, though, peace.